Welcome again to the Was This Atlantis presentation.
There's a location in the Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania called the Richat Structure.
Did you go there personally?
No. So I have, in fact, let me give them a shout out. David Stig Hansen went there. It is a gutsy trip.
There's so much that points to that possibly being Atlantis.
I'm David Stig Hansen. I've been to the Richat Structure 3 times now. I'm driven by an urgent need to share a discovery that might just redefine our understanding of our forgotten past. I've started as a Google Earther in this region, but today I've put my boots on the ground to explore what appears to be evidence of a megalithic primordial advanced civilization.
Stop what you're doing and subscribe immediately to David Stig Hansen's YouTube channel at youtube.com/@Stig. If you're interested in uncovering one of the greatest mysteries in history, this is the place to be. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now. After you've subscribed, make sure to like and share the videos to help spread this groundbreaking information.
It stopped. Okay, so yeah, I had a little tail end, and my other friend told me to get rid of the rainbow colored cloud coming out of the stone. He's like, that doesn't look right. But I made that a long time ago, and yeah, that is AI. I'm going to be doing more stuff that, like, the next thing I'm going to add to that is my books, right? Everybody knows that I wrote a book in 20 years ago about the COVID virus called Not SARS, Just Sex. It's not porn. It's not sex tourism. I lived in Taipei. It's called Living in Taipei During SARS. And the thing I want to say is that when I wrote it, I didn't know about any conspiracy yet. I didn't know that the same Wuhan story was going to be repeated 20 years later, and the same wet market story, Wuhan lab. It's all in there. Bernie says he's going to join us in 15 minutes. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. So, hey, let me bring this up real quick since you mentioned books. So, I just got my proof copy. This isn't the proof copy. This is the original copy still, but I'm relaunching my book back on the Amazon bestseller. It also made number 6 in Egypt and in Iraq, and also
what's the name of it? What's the name? Say the name.
Journey through the origins of history.
Hold it straight. Okay, so what's it about? And I'm gonna check my sound right now. Hold on here. I gotta hear it. I can't play games with my microphone.
You went out. Whatever you just did. Oh, you must be opening up.
Yeah, I turned it back up. The ads. You hear me now?
Yeah. I hear you, bro.
Okay, there you go. It sounds a little tinny. Let me check the volume on that. You know, last time really.
Oh, look at it.
I'll just bump it up a little bit. It was the StreamYard has 200. The operating system that kept
whatever you're doing, hey bro, whatever you're doing, you're slowing down your computer and you're lagging now.
I'm lagging on Starlink. My microphone's down to 10%.
No, you're good now. You're good.
All right. Well, you know what?
It was whatever you was doing trying to fix your it was whatever you trying to do while you was fixing your stuff.
I hadn't done anything except for listen. Oh, it was probably listening to. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll close it. YouTube video is what I was doing. I was watching this video on YouTube. That's what's loaded down, and you can't trust YouTube. Yeah. You can't trust them, man. All right, let's see here. So you were talking about your book. Go back to it.
Yep. So it's just, just everything that anybody that follows me on my YouTube will get to enjoy to read. It's basic, everything that I've been talking about and just putting it in a book format. But it's interesting. You said you're talking about your book. Have you wrote a book about Atlantis by itself?
Oh no. My books were Taiwan related. That was from a previous lifetime. And yeah, I'm thinking about how to do it.
I know you say you have some drafts of some other books, but so is that one of your drafts? Okay.
No, the one I have, hold on, let me show it because hold on, I gotta grab it.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that last time, that you had a draft of Atlantis.
This is from a previous lifetime right here, and this is the book, Not SARS, Just Sex. If you notice, the pseudonym or the pen name is my middle name backwards. Gitz is Stig. See, is this mirrored? Is it? Can you read it? Is it mirrored?
Yeah, I read it like you're showing it to me. Like it's
okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I did do everything about this book, and this is a hardcover. Not Stars, Just Sex. And like I said, it's not porn and it's not sex tourism, and it's about living in Taipei during SARS. And I was printing them in Taiwan and sending them. That was way before print on demand, and way before they took inventory. Amazon has gone through a lot of changes in the last 20 years, hasn't it? And by the way, the books are free. My book's free on if you have a Kindle, you can read it for free. And there's a second book. So I do want to start selling them. And I do have a third book in me, and I think I'll just sell it on my own. I'm not going to go through Amazon. I will self-publish that bad boy. I do have a third book in me. And, life changed when I came back from Taiwan. COVID again. And it's like that story is about COVID, the true first SARS, COVID 03 or COVID 02, I think they call it, because it came out and it started in 02. All of a sudden, everybody's dying. But this book goes back to 1996 when I first went. All right, no, never mind. I take that back because I went to Taiwan and I came back and I got my master's degree. And I went back in 2001, right before 9/11. So that's part of the story too. It's not just about COVID. In fact, COVID doesn't happen until about the fifth chapter. And I would like to rewrite it and make it better. I think I'm a better writer now than I was back then. But that might make what the book is it's Gonzo. It's a Gonzo story. It's kind of like what's his name? Well, I wouldn't want to say that. I've been told different stuff about it. But I didn't mean to steal I didn't mean to steal the light. I just wanted to show the actual book. It does exist. This version, this is the first. If you read this, you wouldn't be happy. There's a lot of mistakes in it, and since then I've corrected the mistakes. And I,
you know what? It's funny you say that because some of the worst mistakes I've read in books come from university schools like Oxford. Like I'm a big fan of Oxford, so I have a lot of books by Oxford University, right? And they have a lot of mistakes in their books. Like every book has mistakes.
Right, that's true.
I read this.
You can't edit your own book. You got to.
Well, I have to disagree with that, and I say this: the reason why. Two reasons. One, not everybody has the opportunity to pay for an editor, right? And not everybody has. You got to. No, but listen, hear me out. Invite somebody that's trustworthy, right? That's the other thing. Will they do it in time? How many people are really there for you to do that type of stuff? Who's going to take time to read out your book? This, that, and the third. Just like how they're going to take time to watch your videos is no different. So if you have the opportunity, do it. And you can always go back and edit it and fix it later on. There's nothing wrong about fixing your book. Some of the best books out there are the ones where people go out there and revise their books in the first place.
If you put on an audio setting and you listen to your book, that's the way you could self-edit because you're listening to it read back to you. But if you're reading
I'm writing my second book now, and hopefully this one goes bestseller too. But it's going to be the truth about the Anunnaki, basically what I've learned and what was the basic. What was the same patterns throughout Mesopotamia and possibly throughout the world. But it's all about just going out there and just doing it. Forget if you mess it up. If you have errors, go back, fix it. There's no issues with that. I don't think there's no issues with that.
That's why I started live streaming on YouTube, because I didn't want to mess around with having to edit and worry about stuff. And while that's still an option, and we still discover a lot of new stuff, it's time to start exploiting the things we've discovered and I got to up my YouTube game. I think if you want to up your YouTube game, you need to make shorts out. You've got a long video about the book. You've got to create a short about that same book that is tells you this book, in your opinion. And of course, the opener, you have to tell part of your opinion, but then you have to hook them. And then you say, here's the book, here's the author, here's the year it was. maybe a couple of other facts about the book. Sitchin and Billy Carson, are you ready to go?
Look, man, I've already talked about that plenty of times. You know, it's funny you bring up Billy Carson because there was a time when I really,
Go on. I got his book right here signed, but go on.
Yeah, I don't understand why he believes the stuff that Sitchin believes, because when you cross-reference what Sitchin says, it doesn't make sense. Like I've talked about since I've started this like 6 years ago, hardcore, that the Anunnaki did not come from a planet Nibiru. They came from the depths of the sea. It literally talks about Abzu, ABZU, the waters, the primordial waters. It literally talks about this. And it talks about how Enki rose from those waters. He was part of the Anunnaki. So when they say that he rose from waters, he came from the depths of the waters to teach humanity. There's nothing in any of the ancient texts that said that they came from a planet that mined gold here on Earth to bring back to their planet. There is nothing in the text that says that. Zachariah Sitchin's best argument for that was cylinder seal VA243, and we have a show on me presenting cylinder seal VA243 in the representation of what it meant. And I even said that it has more to do with German than it does with the 12th planet. And I couldn't understand why Zachariah, one of the first things that I questioned when I first came in contact and learned about Zachariah Sitchin's book, The 12th Planet, I was like, oh, so there's 12 planets, including the sun and the moon, which would make 14 constellations based off that idea, right? But no, he considers the sun and the moon a planet also. So, and we know here in 2025, cylinder cell VA243.
VA as in 843.
VA, no, VA.
If I got anything.
No, VA. Yeah, like alpha.
I actually have a picture of it.
And then put 243.
Oh, and then 243.
Yeah.
Let's try that. All right, keep talking. Sitchin is wrong. Is that the website you referred to before?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can open this up in a new tab. There we go.
They got a he has a whole presentation that I presented on there.
So that was, and by the way, that right there on the left is a repeat of that on the right. So, but let's not spend all this time on Anunnaki. We got a cryptochemist coming in, I think. What's that? Oh, he's just asking people to hit that like button. Thank you, Crypto Alchemist. Sorry, I said cryptochemist. And while you're at the Heyo family, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't. As I said, I've talked enough about it already this year in 2025. You know, it's the facts are the facts. You know, I get that people believe in extraterrestrials and aliens and stuff like that, and that's fine. I believe in them too. But the Anunnaki were not one of them. They weren't extraterrestrials. They were aliens, but they weren't extraterrestrials. And the difference between extraterrestrials and aliens is the simple fact that extraterrestrials means outside of Earth's atmosphere, which would also be considered an alien. Aliens is just something that's foreign to us, but extraterrestrials could be foreign to us. So that's what they're aliens. So it's just playing with semantics at a point. But the point is that the Anunnaki came from the depths of the sea. That's literally what they talk about.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, this is it too with Atlantis. I've talked about it a million times, but it's just, I'm so tired of the deflection that I encountered in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Quest for Ancient History by Randall Carlson and just other people. And then TV shows like this. Have you seen these slides?
Yeah, we talked about them. We had all them slides on there.
It's pretty obvious that Atlantis starts at the Pillars of Hercules. It starts right there. The island of Atlantis is basically the area just across from Cadiz. And we were talking about how you have to go back to the ancient language. I went through all the ancient Greek and, Plato and Herodotus. They all point right there. This one too. But people have been deflecting this for years. The Atlas Mountains were Atlantis, as far as I'm concerned. So it's like, this is the year of enlightenment because everybody It's time to know. It's time to go. Sorry.
You know, I always said that Atlantis.
Hit that like button, everybody, and share this video. Thank you.
I always say that Atlantis was in multiple places. I just want to know which one was the capital, because it does.
Plato wrote about the one that I'm talking about, but of course, I think everybody agrees. Doggerland, Peru, you know, these were all part of an ancient civilization. The capital, Plato says the mountains were to the north, and when he's describing it, the only mountains that he and Herodotus knew about were the Atlas Mountains. You know, and yeah, they've been messed with.
That's the only reason. That's the only thing that gets me confused is how did they only think of those mountains when there's mountains all over that area though? In Greek,
are there though? I mean, we're talking about Africa still, or are we talking about something else?
Yeah, all around in Africa they got mountains.
But do they though? I mean, I've been a Google Earther for a while, and I've been looking at those mountains. The Atlas Mountains are in Morocco, basically. You get a little bit. You don't even have Atlas Mountains in Mauritania. So when I say the mountains were to the north, they're 1,000 miles to the north. So I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, they're right there. But no, but we have the ancient Taman Reset. But the mountains, the so-called Taman Reset Mountains, you can zoom in there and take a look at them. They're barely anything. I mean, you might get like that picture here. This is true mountains. The Atlas Mountains are true mountains. Where's that picture at? And that was looking right at the top. It actually, from that peak, it goes across, and there's like 2 high peaks right there. But the Atlas Mountains in that area, there's no mountains in Spain to speak of. That's all plains.
Let's type it in. I don't know. Let's see. Mountains in Spain.
I would look topographic. Well, there's actually the whole Iberian Peninsula.
I wouldn't know. I've never been there.
There's no high mountains like the Atlas Mountains.
Along the border with France, these are Spain's tallest and most dramatic mountains, snowy peaks, alpine.
Oh, that's up by France, right? That's very far from the Mediterranean Sea. That's near the country of.
So by the Mediterranean,
the Mediterranean Sea has. I mean, literally, Plato said, "Go through the pillars of Hercules." Oh, and another thing. This whole thing, and that's why I'm mad at Randall again, because he was like, oh, you go straight out of the Atlantic. That's not what Plato wrote. I did a deep dive on this topic, and I looked at the ancient Greek. I didn't look at translations anymore. See, that's the thing.
That's the other thing is that you can't read it to really get the full understanding of what the text say. You have to actually go to the original source. So if it's in Greek, you have to go to it in Greek. So in some ways, you have to almost the best thing you can do is just ask ChatGPT, ask what translated for you, like you would do for anything else, or you will have to learn the language. But then you'll have to learn all this other stuff too.
That's what I did here. That's what I did right here. Actually, I did something else in my latest video. I actually probably have to, now that I think of it, I have to go to my last video that I uploaded, not my live streams, and I uploaded this thing that was using AI to create. So I was speaking ancient Greek right here. What were Plato's exact words? Plato's location of Atlantis beyond the pillars or in front of the pillars. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, I'm not going to play the whole thing, especially with the ads. You know, I stopped paying, and I gotta play the ad. Sorry. This guy, he's AI, man. Everybody's AI now. So I'm done with AI, even though, yes, that's me using AI to read this ancient Greek. Now, I said, is this ancient Greek or is this just Greek? And AI could not really detail that. But let's talk about this. Okay, you're not gonna hear me reading it. But I can tell you there's a couple of words I learned while I did this. And one of them is stoma. Did I talk about this with you?
Nah.
And the other one is, okay, so the exact phrase was in front of the mouth of the pillars of Hercules. In front of, not beyond, but before. And I used to look at this and think, I used to assume they must be, they go through. So according to the ancient Greek, it's before the pillars of Hercules, before the mouth, the stoma. That word is stoma. And I used to take care of my grandmother when she had a colostomy bag. So I know what a stoma is in medical terms. It's a mouth into your gut. Pillars of Hercules. Now there's no word here meaning far out into the Atlantic. Now let me say one more thing. Let me go a little farther. The next thing is those dwelling outside the pillars. So those dwelling is just talking about on the other side of the fence, not ocean distance, just relative position to the Pillars of Hercules. The last thing I want to show here is that means in front of the mouth, that can still be like a part of Spain, right? Southern Iberia, northern Morocco still. The Atlas facing coast, meaning you're in the Mediterranean looking at Atlas mountains, I believe. It does not linguistically require sailing westward into the open Atlantic like Randall Carlson would try to say. And the last slide here, and I should probably just make it bigger, right? Plato never says far out into the Atlantic. In fact, I've already said many times, he makes a contrast and says there are diverse islands in the open sea that were also controlled by the kingdoms. So he makes reference to diverse islands in the open sea compared to the continent that is bigger than Libya and Asia combined. How are you doing? Let me. I'm sorry, I didn't want to steal the show here.
No, that's actually interesting because that adds a whole different perspective to what the facts are.
Look at this last thing. It says Plato never says far out into the Atlantic Ocean. He does say in front of the mouth of the pillars, outside the pillars, on the other side, those who dwell outside. And that's what he said. A lot of people haven't even read it. And I do think you should just have it read to you by YouTube. Morocco, the Atlas region. And I've gone over this again and again, right? I've gone over it again and again. The Atlas Mountains, the King Atlas, that's where Plato pointed. Yes, Mauritania, the Richat Structure is very far away from there. Yes, England, Doggerland, which is also under the ocean. And let's not forget the shelves of the coast are also under the ocean right now. And you can see that on Google Earth. You can see those shelves. So there's no question about, oh, where's the line? Where's the old coast? You can see it right there for sure.
No, that's actually different. You know, I never read the actual Greek version. I always say that I read the version that in the language that I understand, which is English. So I've read the one that I have is the Penguin Classics version of all of Plato's works.
I think that's the one I used. You have a printed copy?
Yeah, I think it's from Benjamin Jowett, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, no, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that, and it's, by the way, why does Penguins print that? Because it's over 100 years old. It's part of the public domain. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
It's part of the
public domain. So we're talking about an old translation. It's only like 12 pages long. You could put the whole thing through Google or through ChatGPT or whatever, Grok. You could put the whole thing through there, and you could say, translate this from the original ancient. You got to get a hold. The best thing to do is get a hold of the ancient Greek text, which you and I talked about.
They have it available. Yeah,
put it in there and say, translate this so a high schooler can understand it. And then, because if you do the Bible, and by the way, when I was in Scottsdale, I did grab me a free copy of the Bible. Somebody left it in the room, the Gideon version. So I have a better Bible.
You just stole the Bible, bro.
Okay, so you're supposed to take it. It says, please steal this.
No.
It says the Gideons want you to thieve this. Like, don't tell the front desk you're taking it. Just put it in your bag. The reason why I grabbed this was because it's got the New Testament and the Old Testament. In the old days, when you'd see these in the hotel, it would just be the New Testament. And there'd be no Old Testament, like Jews.
That's interesting you bring that up. That's because that's what Christianity is. Christianity. Yeah. See, this is what's so interesting about. Well, I'm not going to say Christianity. Baptist churches. So I do a lot of research behind religion, just not mythology. I love religion. Period. I mean, my second favorite religion to study is ancient Hebrew, and the monotheistic religion of Abraham. Period. And it's just interesting that, in the Baptist church, they have a Holy Bible with Old Testament and New Testament. But technically they're not supposed to follow the Old Testament. They can know about it, but they're not.
Who's they? Who?
Baptist Church.
Well, how could they get out of it once they connected? Once King James connected the two together, right?
It's crazy because I always wonder why are they why is the Old Testament and the New Testament together? It should be the Old Testament, and then it should be the New Testament, because both of them they basically tell you to do different things.
I don't know if it's me or if it's you, but it's probably me in my new Starlink. I'm looking for a speed test, but it was all garbled up, everything you just said. We'll find out in the final copy. Let me just check my speed real quick. Because see, it's down to 16, which is great, and now it's going up. But what is the real number is the upload number, which I'm still not impressed by this number. It's going up to about 6 right now, which is doable. And I have had my Starlink drop off. It's been raining.
Well, how many things do you have open on your computer?
You were worried about tabs earlier, man. I got a couple of browsers open with like 5 tabs each.
Yeah, you need to close those. That's what's easy.
Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I never really agreed with. I mean, yeah, I got an i9.
It does. Trust me. Every time you open up a channel or
when I opened up the video,
a lot of RAM.
I opened up the video on YouTube, and that's when it slowed down. And yeah, I don't know. And by the way, where's Bernie at? He said he was getting ready.
No, see, wait, you on a laptop, right?
No, I'm on a desktop.
How many RAMs do you have in there?
I had it maxed out, like at least 64. It's been a while since I even checked.
Oh,
I got the best computer I could afford. My apologies. Joining in 5 to 10, he says. Joining in 5 to 10. Yeah, we gotta get a couple more things in before he joins. Okay, so here's the thing. I put together a presentation. I don't have to show it, but we can talk about it. One of the things that I think, and I have the Brian Forrester / David Hatcher Children's book right here. He signed it. I happened to bring it with me. I got it a long time ago. I didn't even realize he was a co-author. And believe it or not, I took a bunch of books to the show, and David Hatcher Childress took one of them by Brian Forrester, because I had about 15 books that were just crowding. It was a little bit redundant. There was a lot of redundancy. I think Brian Forrester is important because of the elongated skulls. And there's a civilization that's just been canceled out that nobody wants to admit existed. Now, forget Atlantis, right? Atlantis was probably about 13,000 years ago, 11,000, 12,000. But the elongated skull culture, you see them in Egypt, you see them in Peru. Even the guy named Raul. Sorry, I got the wrong name. Pillars of the Past. He's finding these corpses out there. The elongated skulls are out there in the middle of nowhere. Thank you, Loretta Enigma. Funny enough, Randall just did a video I watched, so I'm interested in your take. So I just saw Randall, actually, with Rebirth of the Word here, Tyrone and I saw Randall in person, right? And so Randall was there in Cosmic Summit, but in Scottsdale, he was just in the Azores. And so I watched his speech. It was a live stream because he got a little sick and didn't come physically, but he got on the live stream with Graham Hancock in Arizona. And thank you, Loretta, for your comment. I'm just curious about why don't you comment again and say what the video you just watched was about? Randall's upped his game on YouTube. You don't see Bradley. Where's Brad at? Brad's nowhere to be seen.
He got a team of working for him. That's why.
I don't know. Does he? I don't believe he has some family.
Let me tell you something. There's no way on earth that you can do all that stuff and be on social media at the same time.
Well, maybe Bradley's helping him. Maybe Bradley's helping him still.
Yeah, no, there's definitely help, bro.
Most of it before.
Once you reach a certain level, bro, they get that. Most of these people get secretaries and people help them out. It's just the
fact. How much do you think they get paid for going to one of these talks? Like
sometimes some of these people don't care about being paid as long as they get shout outs. That's probably the only thing they care about. You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
I don't know. I just heard a number. I'm not going to say Randall. It wasn't Randall, but it was somebody else. And the high number was $10,000 to show up and talk.
Oh, for him? Oh.
So Loretta says that he was with 3 other men. Oh, and talking about Atlantis, I caught a little late. 3 other men. Okay, I don't know about that video. I do get his notifications, but
yeah, I know he was doing something with Billy Carson earlier. I think he was live with Billy Carson
today.
Earlier. I think it was today.
Loretta, was it a black dude in there? If it was a black dude, it must have been Billy Carlson.
No, I think I seen them live earlier today. If it wasn't today, it was yesterday.
Those guys didn't want to step on each other, and they were both at the show, right? Billy Carlson was just a vendor at Cosmic Summit, but he was a panel speaker at the one in Arizona. And the thing about
you know his hustle started smart. He went. I used to respect Billy Carson a lot until he crashed out when Wesley Huff did what he did. And I say the only reason why I used to respect him is because he put himself so high above everybody than himself, meaning that if you wasn't a millionaire, and then you're poor people, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a millionaire, so I must be poor, right? That in his eyes, basically. And also, if you read his book, he also says if you don't buy his Roku channel, then you're not a true knowledge seeker. I mean, I already showed that in one of the videos before, but it's funny you said his hustle started because he used to speak at these conventions for free. Right. He wrote his book. He used to speak at these conventions for free, and he wanted to, there's a lot of money being a vendor at an event like that, especially if you're a well-known person. When I was, how many copies of books I sold at Cosmic Summit? I sold books, and I wasn't even a vendor. You know what's so funny? It's funny that you bring this shit up, is because I'm
gonna take this down, but it says that it was Billy Carlson, and they were bashing him in the comments. And then she just said, "Well, you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of people, Billy's stream background was all blinged out. Interesting.
Yeah, he shows out. I talked about it in the book. Remember, I told you he likes to show off what he has. He talks about it. He literally tells people who he is. It's just the simple fact is the people who buy his book, and they don't really actually read his book. They just buy it and be like, "Oh, I got an autographed copy of it." I'm telling you, you open that book, he's calling people stupid, poor, and dumb. I mean, he had a 2-hour video where he was calling people stupid and calling people poor and all this other stuff. But it's funny you say that because there's a lot of money to be made at Cosmic Summit. So when we was at Cosmic Summit, somebody reminded me, they said, "Hey, did you bring any of your books with you? I'd like to buy a book from you." I sold 8 copies of my books at Cosmic Summit, bro. It literally paid for my hotel room and the food that I ate there. And a couple of people bought me other books of other people's books there, like Scott Walters. Somebody bought me a book from Scott Walter because they like how I go into what I've reviewed on the book and how I talk about him. And then also somebody did the same thing for Billy Carson. So and I'm just a regular old Joe dude. Nobody even knows who the hell I'm really am. Some of these people are probably like, "Yeah, right, quit lying." But I literally was signing autographed copies of my books there. When I went to the Bigfoot convention in North Carolina that only had maybe 20-30 people there, I sold a book there too. Like it's not hard to sell a book, bro. You just got to open up your mouth and advertise.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. I have a book in here that I created for something my mom was doing, and this is like 20 years ago. And Adamski, which is UFO, Adamski. This Adamski book was lost, so my mom went ahead and just started printing it. She started selling basically that many copies bound together because it was a nice little black and white cover that we put with what's called I forgot the name of the binding system, but it was really clean. It's called a perfect binding system. And the perfect binding, she sold them for $20 a copy. So just
listen, man, people, this is the thing is
your book sold.
The big people will sell their souls for a little bit of fame and recognition. People will lose friends on purpose just because somebody else don't like somebody. This whole game is so that's why going into 2026. I'm just going to be focused on selling my book. That's all I'm going to be focused on is just selling my book because I have a lot. I guarantee you, mark my words, I guarantee you, you read one of my books or one book that I published right now, and compare it to Billy Carson's book, you're going to get a lot more historical information from my book versus his.
Loretta, you got to subscribe to Tyrone's channel, Rebirth of the Word. Loretta's saying that she went to a lady's house to watch one of Billy's gigs and had to pay for stuff. And he just gave his how to make money thing. Interesting. But it was interesting. But yeah, and he also he's a good entrepreneur. He knows how to sell himself, but he also knows how to sell himself to the right crowd. But see, he's selling himself. That's what he's doing. He's for sale. I'm not for sale, and you shouldn't be for sale either. That's why when I tell you, if people don't respect you, who cares? That's why I'm not very successful in the
first place. First of all, how many of these people are going to be at any of these people's funerals in the first place? Or if they need something financially, they're broke, they don't have nowhere to stay. Yeah, people are going to donate $20 here, $30 there, $40 there. But who's really going to be by your side to really be a friend of yours? You know, everybody in this game is literally trying to do one thing: who could be the biggest speaker out there, and who can make the most money. Once you start going down that route, you lose all credibility, because you're guided by what other people think of you by then. You know, like I was just talking about revising books. If you wrote a book and you have something wrong with it, and somebody points it out and gives you information, and you can backtrack it and say, hey, this is right, then you should be able to say you should revise your book. You know, in 2026, like I said, I'm going to be selling my book, and I'm going to be challenging people. Hey, if the information in my book is wrong and I can't explain it to you for you to understand in a better way, then I failed my job. And I'm going to put it like this: you might not be able to understand what I'm saying all 100% in my book, but if you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you a respect enough to say, hey, this is what I meant. I will even sit down and have a podcast discussion because of that, because my book is literally filled from all kinds of different types of historical information, literally of all kinds, and I can place everything that I know within it. So, you know, and like in 2025, bro, I promoted a lot of people, bro. I promoted a lot of people in 2025. And I'm telling you, I'm a nobody. I'm literally a nobody, bro. I'm a best author. My book did go as a best as a bestseller, but when I say a nobody, I'm nowhere compared to Jimmy Corsetti or Billy Carson or Randall Carson. I ain't even in nobody's radar compared to that. You know what I mean? But I can tell you, if you go through my channel versus I'm not gonna say Jimmy Corsetti, because Corsetti is definitely on it on Gobekli Tepe. But if you go through all my channels, you will see that I have a whole plethora type of different information. I literally do not just ancient history, but I also go around cities in America, you know, and I'm going to start internationally traveling and doing historical videos in other places. I literally have my YouTube channel is literally called, one of my playlists is called Boots on Ground. And I literally go to different museums like Civil War, modern war, like modern day Iraq war, or I'll go to, revolutionary type wars, or I'll go to mounds. I've been to mounds all the way up in North Carolina. You know, I've been all over the place. Pilot Mountain.
What I'm doing here and get on the road and come visit you. This year, I want to do a mound tour.
Yeah, we're linking up. I've already been talking about it. I'm going to California to see you. I'm going to stay up there in Cali with you for a couple of days. My bucket list, and I'm starting this in 2027, is I want to go to at least all 50 states and do at least one museum from each 50 state. Even if I have to pay for it all myself, I might not get to 50. But I'm going to get to as many as I can. So every time
that has to include Hawaii and Alaska. Yeah. I think Alaska might be the most exciting thing. It's just you got to go during the summertime, right? Let's get back on track. We got to talk about. By the way, I got Loretta commenting, trying to get composure. Is that crypto? Crypto, you better maybe even ring my phone if I don't notice you come in the room. And Loretta is saying, yeah, it all costs money. You got to get some compensation, man. I spent a lot of money going to the Richat Structure 3 times. And, for people to sit there on their YouTube channels with 5 million subscribers. Oh, my God. Did you even see? Here, hold on. I want to show you something. I'll put it here first. Did you? Okay, that is the Pillars of Hercules right there. People in their boats looked at those and said, "Oh yeah, we're at the edge of the Mediterranean. We're at the edge." Okay. Now I'm pulling something else up, but I had that ready to go. I went there. If you saw in my intro video, I sat on the one in Morocco and I got the shot of last chance, get 40% off premium for all of 20. So now X is offering a deal. You can get the whole year for a cheaper price. So if you go over to my my Twitter, and here's some stuff I haven't even been noticing. Oh, you liked my post. Thank you. Let's see here. Going down, down, down. Even Jimmy Corsetti liked this. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I was going to this guy. What's his name? I don't know if you saw this.
I've seen that. Yeah,
Professor
I've seen
Dave
that.
Explains.
What the fuck was that?
Look what he says. What a nasty little bitch troll you are. That's what he said. And he's like butthead. And he's just cusses now. He doesn't have a PhD, by the way. I checked. I said, what a nasty piece of work this is. He's criticizing Jimmy for 2 hours. And he's just going what he did was he played the Joe Rogan interview that played back in 2019 or 2020. Because Jimmy wasn't on Joe Rogan right away when he came out with his stuff. But when he went on there, it was like, I wish I could zoom in, and I can't. And let's put our faces in here because I want to see you laughing at this guy. Watch what he says next so I just gave him facts. I just gave him some facts. This quarrying, he's like, you were a tourist. You were a tourist. He says that in my little thing. It's cool that you've been a tourist. No, I didn't go there as a tourist. I went there as a journalist, as a YouTuber, yes, but took real pictures. And then he says there's no evidence whatsoever any kind of civilization. And wait, slow down. Okay, forget Atlantis, but you're really going to call that? Oh, and also he was saying that Jimmy was selling tours. That wasn't true. So he's lying, just outright saying whatever he wants to get his audience to triggered. And calling me more names. And the whole video, he's calling Jimmy names, and it's just pathetic. And he's like, you didn't even watch. He's like, you didn't watch it here. The next one is the last one. You didn't watch a single second of this video. And you've never been anything but a butthurt little troll. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't even give a shit about you that much to care about that. And yeah, this is because of this Dave Farina. I used to respect that dude just because it sounded like he was doing his research. But no, he's just.
Well, did he say they didn't find any artifacts or anything like that?
Right.
They definitely found artifacts there. They found pottery. They found arrowheads. They found.
I asked him about Jimmy. There's
a whole list right here.
Graham Langdon's. I said you're not even looking at recent stuff. That video that you're watching right now at 40 minutes. I didn't go past 40 minutes because I left. Because every time he would pause the video and just say, cuss it, he would just cuss. He's an asshole. He's a jerk. It's like, are you going to be a professional? Professor Dave Explains. When you say the word professor and then you turn into a troll, he's the troll on his own channel. And I'm only bringing him up because that happened last. But everybody's doing it. Even at the Cosmic Summit, and even at the Scottsdale, everybody puts up their walls, and you don't cross the line. Actually, I have to be honest. The guys from William Henry and David Hatcher Childress, they were some of the coolest dudes. And the reason why was because they were already successful. They didn't have anything to worry about. No one was going to cancel them. But like we're talking right now. Okay,
bro, this is nobody in this industry is going to get canceled. You know, it's so funny. You know, it's so funny that in this community, I always hear from people, I don't want drama. I don't care for drama. I don't want to do this drama. But you have a whole podcast where people are literally talking about their own theories, and you have people who really think differently than others. Like, if these people really, like, when I went to Cosmic Summit, bro, I was like, yo, these are some crazy ass nerds here, yo. Like, these dudes were so crazy.
You know, I didn't take that picture. I got this picture. I think it's a great shot, and that's why I stole it. And it just shows. It shows the two sides. So what were you saying at Cosmic Summit? People lying?
No, I was saying these are some crazy ass nerds here because all these people were like, okay, first of all, everybody at Cosmic Summit from Dan, the debunker, to Billy Carson, everybody had a moment where they was basically calling somebody stupid or idiots or this or that, right? And so if you don't want drama in this field, then don't do a podcast with anybody. Be by yourself and just talk about what you want, because drama is going to come because people are going to have different theories and have different opinions about different things, and that's just facts, bro. Like that's why you just got to know how to play the game. This is literally a game, bro. Like, look, I told you this time I only know of 5 theories of Atlantis, right? And I got some more information on one of them just the other day from reading something about Saint Germain. Now I'm going to get to that in a second. So I know your theory. I know Michael Donnellan's theory.
Okay, now let's talk about Michael Donnellan real quick. Here's the problem I have with Michael. Just like Randall, when you start to talk about the writings of Plato, and Michael claims he has like 17 translations. Again, let's not talk about how many translations you got or how many you've read. Let's talk about what they say. Let's talk about the facts of the written language. Michael, unfortunately, doesn't. He's also being disingenuous because he doesn't show you the fact that that land in Cadiz is what went to the twin of Atlas, was not the capital. Go on.
But, see that? See, you always say that it wasn't the capital. See, I don't see. This is the thing.
That's what Plato wrote.
When we was talking about the Greek Septuagint or the Greek version, right? When you take it and ask what ChatGPT says, ChatGPT is just giving a translation of what it understands. You see, and that's why I say, me personally.
That's true. No, I want to stop you there because it's even worse than that. ChatGPT will give you what I showed earlier, the mainstream story, and then you got to challenge and say, wait a minute. Here's what it says. Are you still going to stand by that? Oh, and then it'll you know what ChatGPT, it always corrects itself, or it says, oh, I'm so sorry, you were right and I'm wrong. But I had to stop asking those type of questions and go with, let's look at the ancient Greek, pull that up right now. And here's the part in English. Show me the ancient Greek for that, and show me the actual words. And I did a video where I read them. It wasn't me, it was AI. But
that's why I think you two should seriously have a deep conversation about it, one-on-one about it, or have a medium person. Yeah,
well,
because
I'm planning on going to Cadiz next month. I want to go to Spain this month. We're gonna find it out.
Go there, have a sit down with him, because I think the capital. See, a lot of people always talk about where was Atlantis at, but that's like saying, where's America at? Right? We know where America's at, but we know that we have other places outside of America that's considered. Hell, if you have an embassy somewhere, that's considered American land. That's considered American soil. You see what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, the thing is that Plato's Atlantis was very clear, but people deflect. They try to, oh no, it was an allegory. No,
that's why I think in 2026. That's why I think in 2026 people should really have cross reference discussions, like no doubt. I mean, you said it plenty of times. You told me plenty of times that I should be talking to Billy Carson more often. And if he ever really wanted to have a conversation, I would love to have one. But I would need him to honestly be like, hey, look, he's not trying to go into this as being right, but going into this to want to know the facts. See, I'm not here to go what's right or what I think is right. I want to go off what the facts say. That's why I say, like, when we use ChatGPT, I think it's a great source, but it's only going to use the language based on yourself, right? And a lot of times it learns how you speak as an individual and what you type in, your mannerisms and all that other stuff, as far as, through the wording at least. I know it may not be able to detect emotion, but it definitely can detect a type of tone, I guess you can say, because of exclamations and periods and commas and so on and so forth. Is going to translate things for you to understand. Like you said, you can ask ChatGPT, explain this to me like I'm a high schooler. And then you can say, hey, ChatGPT, explain to me like I'm a scholar. Okay, now explain this to me like I have a PhD. Explain this to me like I have an MD. And then the words slightly change, which gives slightly translations and different stuff, but that's why I like what you said. It said when it talked about in front, we know one word could mean like 30, 40 different things. And that's why I think you two should have a sit down, because what could possibly be is that, and where you think is the Atlantis is, could have possibly been that, and then later on it moved 6,000 years to Cadiz, and the Cadiz was one, and then in 6,000 years from that point, another time it's going to move, just like capitals move through within states. You know, some states the capitals weren't always the same. You know, they were in different places.
Well, that's another story, and I question that, and I am looking more into. I don't want to say mud flood. I don't want to say flat Earth for sure. I don't agree with the flat Earth. They always cluster together. But the Tartarian reset is a big question in my mind.
But see, this is, yeah, and you know what's so interesting?
And that has to do with the Capitol State buildings. I don't see any construction photos of these buildings. They already exist. Yeah. And they say, oh, well, photography was just invented. No, it wasn't. It was around for a couple decades already before they built those so-called buildings. So why do they only have them? Oh, Crypto says, is that him? Yeah, he's back. Wait. Oh, no, I scrolled. I'm sorry. Loretta said this.
See, this is what's interesting, is that you talk about the concentric circles, and so does Michael Donnellan talks about the concentric circles. Well, we also have circles that Göbekli Tepe. I mean, what word was concentric circle in Greek? And could that be relatable linguistically or some way, you know, depicted pictographically through Göbekli Tepe? Because they say Göbekli Tepe was what, anywhere from 12,600 years to give or take plus more than that, you know. So, and some people believe, you know, that could have possibly been a form of advanced technology. So we have Göbekli Tepe as a type of technology, but Atlantis was also had been an advanced civilization from most people. That's why they say that, you know, a lot of what we knew was lost through that area.
I want to show the audience while we got the topic, but I don't know if I'm in the right spot. The new finds. You're talking about concentric circles, right? And by the way, let's look at this slide. I guess I'll just keep going forward, but I think that we have to look at the other image, the other idea of these so-called, what makes them concentric. And Plato described a certain 1, then 2, then 4. And I just want to say there's another circle that people might not know about out here, right? Let me find it, because that's not it either. Coming soon. Okay, coming soon. Circles. New circles are found. And this structure was found nearby. And if you look at the map down there, you can see the Eye of Africa and this structure are on this ancient equator line. And this is something that people need to not forget about, because this structure, I should get some better slides going, and we can visit there if you want. Have I shown you this before?
Yeah, I've seen all these videos before.
With this canal going straight down to the middle, and then it cuts over and goes this way. And then the serpentine ridge right here, pardon my burp, that serpentine ridge is hard for me to think that's natural. It does look like right there, it looks like a sand dune. But over when it crosses over, it's not a sand dune. And then coming through back through the center again. And this, you talk about concentric circles. Those concentric circles are, where is that? That's right there. That's Africa. I've been to that location 3 times. Let me get rid of a very ADHD with ChatGPT. Loretta says the mud floods and Tartary research are very intriguing. And I wonder how they came up with what they did. Ancient maps is a beginning for me. That's what I first heard about the Tartars from a comedy sketch. Hey. Randall seemed to indicate it was more of an island than an exact circle. Thank you, Loretta. Yes, Randall also tries to point at the Azores, and it's just being disingenuous. And where is this? This is Morocco, and this is Mauritania. And the ancient Tamanrasset River went right past both of these structures. So there was water going past this one. There was water going past this one. And let me get back to us. I'm not trying to show a bunch of slides.
I can, Randall Carson has a lot of great information, but I'll be honest, a lot of what he knows is outdated. I mean, he still considers the Homo sapiens only going back 200,000 years. That's outdated information. I've talked about that in the past.
I think he's admitted farther. He's trying to be mainstream.
Well, just recent. I don't know how long. It must have been only like 2 or 3 months ago. But and that's why I say I don't think he manages all his accounts, because somebody posted, or he must have posted, an outdated video of what him talking about Homo sapiens only going back 200,000 years ago, and that's outdated information. A lot of these people, the thing is that once they feel like they latched on to their theory, they feel like they can't change it anymore. See, one of the reasons why I like Batman, I grew up as a Batman fan. The reason why I grew up and loved Batman is because he was the greatest detective, yo. Like, he was straight up the most greatest fucking detective, meaning that he would, find every superhero's weakness by just doing his due diligence. And it took a lot of time. That's why nobody could beat him, and he could always overcome. And then I started getting older, and then I started, watching some of these detective shows and stuff like that. And some of these, these detectives, when the crime happens, they have to go through thousands and thousands of phone calls and tips and all this other stuff just to find one person. Just one person. So that means they're up all night researching. They're all night reading things. They're cross-referencing. They're doing boots on ground. They feel like they got one person, and that's why they're doing an interview, but then they find out through more information that they were wrong, and they have to go back to square one. That's what this is all about. First of all, nobody's theory can ever be proven. Nobody's theory. What is the best option to the question that we have on hand? Meaning, okay, for your instance, where was Atlantis? Okay, do you agree that it could be multiple different places? You just don't agree that Cadiz is the capital, which is a great argument, right? Because you've been to a place that you feel like is Atlantis, and then other people back you up on that, and you use certain information to get you there. That's why I think that two people who feel like that they're right in something, they should sit down and have a discussion, and it shouldn't be about, well, my way is right. That's it, because both can be right at the same exact time. Atlantis could have literally been that whole area. Right? Literally.
Definitely, that's what they're saying. Let me show you. This is the one thing that changed my mind about it being where it is. I never thought of the Atlas Mountains as part of it. Hold on, I'm trying to share it with you. But there's what he wrote. To his twin brother who was born after him, and if you're twins, we're talking about 30 seconds later. Yeah. He obtained the extremity of the island towards the Pillars of Hercules, facing the country which is now the region of Gades. That's been agreed upon by everybody that it's Cadiz. Now,
Cadiz, yeah, exactly.
Cadiz is in the Atlantic Ocean. It's not in the Strait of Gibraltar anymore. You leave the Strait of Gibraltar when you get to Cadiz, in my opinion. People might argue. I think that's arguing in the favor of the whole Atlantic side of it all. But at the same time, it says clearly facing Cadiz, and the only thing facing it is the extremity of the island towards the Pillars of Hercules. See, when you say the extremity of the island, you're not pointing out at the Azores when you mention the Pillars of Hercules again. You're between Cadiz and Pillars of Hercules is right here. It's the Strait of Gibraltar. So I'm just saying, this is what Plato wrote. What he wrote here in the yellow. Another thing which is important, Hellenic language is what the Greeks wrote. He wrote Emulus, and he's also the one who wrote Atlantis. But he also mentioned in the same writing what they call the name of the twin of Atlas is Gadaris and Gades. So it's like he even gives us the exact alternative name, which we use nowadays. We don't use Gades now. It's Cadiz. But we knew where he was talking about. It was go through the Pillars of Hercules and across from Cadiz, very clear directions. And that went to the Twin. Now, I don't want to burst Michael Donovan's bubble, but he needs to be more open about what that says. And then when it says the mountains to the north, let's get back to Ayu. I don't want to just show slides all night long. It says we have 75 total viewers. I want to keep. Wait, I'm sorry. I got the mouse in the wrong spot. The thing I'm trying to say is that and that ancient river right there that separates the two makes to me a perfect sense. All the stuff I found.
Keep talking.
All the stuff I found. I'll give up the topic. Actually, Loretta was saying some interesting things. She first said Randall's an admitted Mason, and that's the truth.
You know, you know what's so funny that people say that. Look, I've read.
No,
I have a lot.
Randall says it. I think
No, I know that. I know that. It's just funny that he mentions that, and that a lot of people believe that he's giving disinformation, because I've read a lot of books on Masons. A lot. I mean, a shit ton. My favorite author and historian was supposedly a 33rd degree Mason, who is Godfrey Higgins, who wrote these books, Anacalypsis Volume 1 and Volume 2, and the Celtic Druids in 1833, somewhere around, to give it take that time frame. Then my second favorite one is also a lot of people consider him of the founder of the Confederacy, is Albert Pike. Okay, he has a book called Dogma. Look, those are my two. My favorite is Godfrey Higgins and then Albert Pike, because those guys give so much information in their books that is crazy. I don't understand. They don't talk really about Atlantis or any of that other stuff. Okay, they talk about where people originally came from. Godfrey Higgins used to believe that the black individuals came from India, and then because of the Indians, India being considered Ethiopia, and then Africa also having an Ethiopia, how the Greeks labeled their places at that time. But a lot of people, what I don't understand, and also Albert Churchwood, who wrote the book Signs and Symbols, the ones that I'm been posting on my Twitter account, all these Masons that I've read from, and individuals that all they do is just share information. That's it. That's all they do. The thing is like I said, is that with Randall Carlson, he's more saying, okay, I have the answer to this. I have the answer to that. And I can tell you, based off reading just books by itself, I can tell you that a lot of the stuff he says is outdated. Not because he's wrong, but it's outdated. And the reason why it's outdated is because he's using only certain things for his evidence. Once that one thing of evidence no longer holds up, it's like DNA tests. You can weed out a criminal by future DNA tests. Remember when they first started doing DNA tests, they didn't test anybody and people went to prison. And then when somebody did a retrial and they have DNA rights and they found out the person never was in that location in the first place and it's not their DNA, that was, once the evidence shows that your information is wrong, there's nothing wrong going back and fixing it. People like Randall Carlson because he gives out information. People like Graham Hancock because he gives out good information. Does everybody like them? Fuck no, man. Nobody. Just because somebody follows you and watches your videos and listens to you talk doesn't mean they like you. They just like the information you share. That's why you got to learn how to separate your emotions. And that's why I think me personally, if anybody can prove that the Anunnaki came from a planet that orbit our sun every 3,600 years and they came here to mine gold for their planet, that's all the information I need from them, and that's it. My completion of knowing about the Anunnaki is completely done at that point, because now I know where they came from. That's the only thing that I'm missing. I know I read that they come from the depths of the seas, but we also don't have any evidence of that, and the depths of the seas could mean anything. Oh shit, what happened to him? There we go. So yeah, it's just different. What's up, Bernie?
Let's go. Oh, there we go. What's going on? Sorry, guys. I had to gain my composure there. Having a bit of a rough day. I said I'd stop in, so I figured I should probably do that, but it's not gonna stay very long. Kind of effed up in the head. Just found out one of my good friends is dead. So
Out. You want to
yeah,
talk about it, or you want to not talk about it?
probably not. Probably, if anything, try to get my mind off of it. Get my mind off of it.
Now, I just got 6 minutes ago, Burn Eye, Mind's Third Eye, science guy uploaded the FBI allegedly dug up artifacts. Is that us right now? Are we talking about that?
Well, that was a short actually from my discussion with Mike Forrest, Alien Carvings, the other night. And that has to do with the conference of Moon Lake Gathering in Utah that I was at this past summer, where a bunch of the treasure hunters there, they tried to do the excavations the legal way of notifying the authorities when they were digging up these mounds that supposedly have giants and golden tablets buried in them, aka Anunnaki. And the FBI apparently each time went in the night before the official digs were scheduled and dug up and took whatever was in there, so that the official digs found nothing.
Yeah, of course. The official dig doesn't get in until the unofficial dig happens, right?
Yeah.
And I was just seeing something very similar to that. I guess it was. I hate to keep giving him. I keep watching my lunch break, and he's getting into Sumeria now. He's getting into, and he does Tataria. So now he's looking at these ancient sites that have been destroyed. And, you know, you've been there, Tyrone. You've been to these places and seen them with your own eye. So, sorry to hear about your friend. Loretta says, Loretta, where are you at? Give us some info where you're at, Loretta. I'd like to know because all your comments are pretty relevant. We are kind of moving away. Is there any last minute things you want? Because Rebirth, Tyrone, a minute ago, somebody said what you say is so prevalent. Did you have any last comments on that? Speaking about basically right now, there's a lot of gatekeepers in the alternative history community. And
I don't think there's any gatekeepers, bro. I don't think there's no gatekeepers at all. I think it's just too much money involved, and the people who are supporting some of these people are too blind and too lazy to get to the truth. It's easier to hear something pleasing to the ear than somebody telling you something that goes against your own belief. I mean, think about it. Half these people who are in this were religious people in the first place. They grew up in religion, Christianity, baptism, Catholicism, Jehovah's Witness, Mormonism, you know, any of those types of religions, any of the, you know, Hinduism, you know, Muslims, it doesn't matter. And then they said what they told me in church didn't make sense, or what they told me in the synagogue didn't make sense, or what they told me in the temple didn't make sense. And now they're on a different path, like aliens or other species and stuff like that. You just joined one cult to the next one. Why did you switch? Keep asking. If you had that many questions, if you had that many questions about religion, you should have the same amount of many of those same questions when you're following anything else. Doesn't matter, because you went from one cult to the next. Literally, everybody from, you know, Billy Carson talks about how he grew up in the religious church. Okay, you say Randall Carson is a Mason. Well, you know, he must have been doing this for a while, so he had to learn every religion to be a top dog Mason, right? That's just the levels of it. Albert Pike literally talks about how each rank is supposed to know something by the 33rd rank, but that's only for the Scottish Rite. Not every Mason had a 33rd degree. Okay, that's a lot of misconceptions right there, is that a lot of people believe every Mason had a 33rd degree. No, that's not true at all. It literally, in most cases, some of them were down to 14, some of them were 7. It wasn't until the Scottish Rite when they got 33rd degrees. But see, this is the kicker about the 33rd degree level of masonry, or Masons, I should say, is that you get the horns, you get the crown on top of your head. The horns literally represent 33rd degree. The crown represents 33rd degree. When you're a king, that represents the 33rd degree.
Right,
and
that's what it means. 33rd, they have to be invited only. That's another misconception, and that the average Mason that's below like a 32nd and lower, they have no idea that there's a whole other level of 33 more degrees after they get those horns and that crown.
Yeah, exactly. It never stops, and that's why a lot of people believe that it almost goes with the idea with the chakras. You know, the chakras go to 7, but there's more than that. Chakras, and the top of your chakra is your head chakra, and that's the one where you supposed to be all knowing and all this other stuff. The level never stops. Everybody changes up things. It's just that everybody compiles all Masons as one, and that's why they're like, oh, every Mason knows the same thing. No, they all know something differently. Matter of fact, in a lot of cases, some of them fought against each other. Mason against Mason. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, so a lot of that's why I don't understand when people say, you know, Randall Carson's gatekeeping or this or that. No, he's not gatekeeping. He's only sharing what he thinks he knows. And then he has a lot of people who support him that share what they think they know from what he thinks he knows. Okay. And then you're always going to find somebody that's going to counter your argument. It's just, where's the evidence for the counter? And it's easy. That's why I always talk about when it comes to the Anunnaki coming from the depths of the seas rather than a planet, all I have to do is just look at one word, and that's Abzu. You look at that word, and that tells you exactly where the Sumerians said the Anunnaki came from. Not just the Sumerians, but the Mesopotamians, period. The Abzu is literally their foundational ground of where they came from. That's where we have to separate our emotions, because a lot of people want to feel like they're right about everything, you know. Right. And I'm just like, stop feeling that. Like, why do you, what if you're so right about it, then you should be the richest person on the planet then. Right now.
It's uncomfortable truths, right? They can't handle an uncomfortable truth. They have to just have their truth, their belief, their bias, no matter what, even when the evidence starts showing more. And I love that how you've figured out and done the research showing that the Anunnaki come from the ocean, come from our planet and below, and that is recently out in the Okanagan, British Columbia, close to the Pacific in Canada, and I was with some of the indigenous there. I was asking them about their creation legends and whatnot, and they were all telling me how the local creation myths are that there's these fish people from the bottom of the lakes there that were the ones that took them in during the last cataclysm and brought them out afterwards, and that taught them everything, and that there's this city that's still under Lake Okanagan that they believe will be emptied and that they will be brought back to during the next cataclysm. And it's the exact same creation myth on the other side of the story. Or of the
where's that lake at? Lake Okanagan.
Lake Okanagan. Okanagan.
Is that in Canada?
Yeah, it's in Canada, British Columbia. It's quite a big lake, actually, and it's also Lake Okanagan is quite well known for what they call Ogopogo. And Ogopogo being a Canadian indigenous version of the Loch Ness Monster, also residing in the Okanagan Lake. There you go.
You know what's so funny that I found interesting about
the Loch Ness? It is funny because Loch Ness is a very long, skinny lake like this. Loch means lake. What was that, Tyrone?
No, what's so interesting about the Loch Ness Monster to me, just learning about the history behind that, is that it comes from, it doesn't reside in the water that they think it resides in. It resides in the ocean. It just comes to that water to breed. That's one of the theories that I've learned about the Loch Ness Monster. And when you said that these indigenous people talked about things coming from the ocean or the depths of the sea or the water or what sort, that's in every civilization. And some civilizations do have that they came from the skies. Some people do believe that, but they equated the skies of individuals being on mountains or higher ground. I mean, like thinking of Mount Olympus, for example. It was in the mountain. That's
the same thing, Mount Olympus.
So when people say, you know, they came from the sky, that doesn't mean that they came from outside of Earth's atmosphere. They don't literally say they came from a different planet or outside of Earth's atmosphere. They say they come from the skies, they fallen or came down or whatever the case may be. But they forgot these gods lived, or these kings or whoever you want to call them, lived higher ground than the people below. I mean, shit,
they can fly. It means they have wings. It doesn't mean that they came from off planet.
Yeah, exactly. Why? And none of that. You know, it's so crazy that we look when it comes to UFOs. We always think that these UFOs or these spacecraft come from outside of Earth's atmosphere. But we know they say that we know more about space than we know about our own oceans. Now that's crazy to even think about.
Absolute lie, though, because it's like the vastness of space, just another planet.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like it's like, no, we definitely know more about the ocean on our own planet because it's one planet. But that said, it just goes to show how little we know of our own realm.
Exactly. If we can make a stupid ass statement like that, that just tells us that we barely know anything about our own planet. Because I mean, we know how big the earth is, or according to what they say scientifically. We know how deep the waters are scientifically, right? So, but we don't know how big the universe is. Hell, we don't even know where the end of the universe, if there is one out there. You know what I mean?
Well, and now though they've just come out with like new findings that there's inner oceans below our oceans in the mantle, right? So it's like we don't even know because like we're just finding out there's more oceans below the oceans.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. To me, it's really crazy that, you know, some of the comments that people make, and, you know, like I said, you know, I don't think anybody's gatekeeping anything. I think everybody's sharing what they know. The problem is when they get too big, they feel like they don't need to comment and talk to anybody else. And I think that's what hurts a lot of people's legitimacy. And that's one thing that I do like about Jimmy Corsetti is that he will argue with somebody on X if he has time. Like if he has time to blow, yeah, he'll definitely argue. I just feel like the point is that once you come into this field, there's no picking and choosing on what you want to do. You can't pick and choose who's right and wrong, because if you don't do your own due diligence, you can't sway one way or another. Just because somebody says something nice and that made your ears sound, you know, pleasant, doesn't mean that they're right.
Bias. Just because somebody's giving you the confirmation bias that you're looking for.
That's the definition of a cult, right? It's like anything real has to pass scrutiny, and no matter how uncomfortable that truth or that fact may be, it's like if it keeps passing scrutiny, you have to take it into account and you have to accept the information that's coming with it and adjust it into your own model. Like when I first found out about like the Anunnaki, I was like, this is BS. I got triggered. I was like, no. All right. But it's like, well, then I started doing my own research and then podcasting, interviewing, and then like going out and exploring and finding these runes and everyone else's work these days. It's like, it's undeniable at this point. It just more and more keeps coming. And then getting introduced to you, Tyrone, and your work, I love it because it's like, it's so uncomfortable because I hate it. I hate the facts, but it's like it is what it is, and you just have to accept it. And it's like it goes along with everything else that I've found, and you know, and then it's like it goes along with all the indigenous creation myths, or not myths. They're creation stories. They're what their people have. They're oral traditions, and when they're all saying the same thing, and it's the same thing that's being depicted on the ancient megaliths and civilizational runes from the before time, it's hard to argue, and it's hard to not actually take a real look at accepting it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, it's so crazy because I always, like I tell Stig all the time, you know, it's hard to get respect in this field because first of all, you're going against what people are happily and easily accepting today. They don't want to go back and be taught something new, especially from somebody that they barely even know. You know, a lot of people pay a lot of their way into advertising for themselves. You know, it takes money to make money, you know what I'm saying? And if you have a team of people and you promising people, you know, hey, shout outs, or if I make it big, then this or that, I'm gonna bring you with me and this, that, and the third, people get manipulated into that. And that's why you have a lot of people who may do this for 10, 15 years. And then in the 20th year, you found out they hated each other the whole time. You know what I mean? Because they didn't like each other. You have to find genuine people who are open-minded and who really want to say, okay, look, this is what I do know and what I've learned, and this is what I've understood. But if somebody brings something to the table and says to me, hey, this is wrong, and look more into this, I have no problem saying, hey, I was wrong. That's why I said once somebody shows me that the Anunnaki came from planet Nibiru that orbits our sun every 3,600 years and they came here to mine gold from our planet, if they can find any hard, solid evidence that's in writing about that, then I'm going to be like, hey, my job is done. I learned everything now. But then my question is still going to be in the back of my head is why does these English...
Show me Nibiru, show me the planet. Then maybe, right? Like, but until then, it seems like we can't really get off this realm and that everything's within it. And my own work also in like the anti-gravity or essentially it's breaking down engineering space-time. It's interdimensional, right? So it's like any sort of these space, quote unquote, spacecraft. No, it's interdimensional. So whether it's interdimensional being or interdimensional technology, it's space and time. It doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from somewhere else. It could just be from a dimension within our realm or from a time other than our time in our realm.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you a lot. That's why I said it is when you're stuck in the mode of, hey, I'm right and you're wrong, you lose your eyesight to what others, because you're only narrow-minded. Like if you have questions, that's okay. But if you're saying, I'm right about everything, you're not leaving room for you wanting to learn anything else, because there's always going to be more information.
Right, if someone's narrow-minded, you might as well just go read up on Columbus discovering America and go take some Egyptology classes for $20,000 a year, right? Like,
yeah, just listen to what Zawi Hawass says. That guy, yeah, that is,
Hey, he's back on the team again. Hey, let me ask you, the name of this video is Secrets Revealed. What's coming in 2026? You won't sleep tonight. And everything you've been talking about is going to stop me from sleeping. That's for sure. I believe in giants now. But what about, and now you two, we got Parker Edmondson on the topic last time. Bernie, did you ever hook up with him?
I've yet to get in contact with him. I've tried a bit. Tyrone, have you been able to get back a hold with him? He seems pretty busy and stuff.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry to interrupt. He's been doing those Model T videos, driving a Model T around the streets of where does he live?
He lives in Texas. Yeah, I've been trying to contact him. I'm a matter of fact, I'm waiting until after the holidays to message him again, because I wanted to ask him how his museum is coming along, because he's trying to raise funds for that too. That's like one of his biggest priorities is getting, and we're talking about Dr. Parkenstein, by the way, so everybody knows who we're talking about. I did a podcast with him. I actually have his personal cell phone number and stuff like that. It's very.
I'll send you the link for you to forward to him to apply to present at Tesla Tech in 2026, because it's opened up, and I really want to see him there because he deserves.
All right, yeah, send it to me. Send me everything that you have, bro. And
if he doesn't respond, we have to road trip it to Texas to see his museum and support that to get him to come Tesla Tech.
Hey, if it's not, it's going to be one of the years. It's definitely going to be. I mean, I know one of his biggest things is doing that museum. So, and I definitely want to go there because that's one of the things that I do. Like I was saying before you came on, my bucket list is starting in 2027 is to go to each museum in each of the 50 states. I've already been, to a lot of museums already as it is, but I want to be able to I want to start going, from Alaska to Hawaii. I want to go to, all 50 states in one museum.
The Continental 48. We're starting that in 2026, and then we'll do Alaska and Hawaii in 2027.
Hey, but I heard that both of you are going to be in California in January. What's up with that? Both of you?
Both of us. All right.
When are you going to be, Bernie? When are you coming to California?
I already told you I'm coming around March.
Bernie, when did you say?
Just a couple weeks time. I don't want to fully disclose it because I don't want Mossad blowing up the airplane, because that's a whole other rabbit hole of drama I'm involved with, aka alternative Propulsion Engineering Conference and me exposing their funding being an Israeli black project and whatnot. But we won't get into that on this episode. But I will be there mid to end of January, and I'll be down there for a couple months. So I'll try to stay till March so we can also meet up with Tyrone. And at the end of March,
I'm worried that I might not be here in that week. I may have been invited to something which I don't want to talk about. And you know where that is. It's starting in Spain.
Well, you're going to have to delay that a little bit so we can first go to Mexico City in mid-March for the big conference there. And then from there, I'll have to join you on your trip to Spain.
Well, I'm talking about January 15 approximately. So we'll see. It sounds like our dates are adding up already. I just got to get the money to pay for it all. And that's why I'm working so hard at what I'm doing here. Get down here right now. You got a place to sleep. It's just cold. It's very cold right now in this desert.
How's the weather? Is it flooded? Like, are you safe there, Stiggs? You're not washed away?
That's LA. That's LA. It's not even raining here.
Oh,
it's
snap.
Not even raining. What did Loretta said? Loretta was talking. So, okay, moving on. So I kind of interrupted. What is coming in 2026 that's going to make us not sleep?
You know, I think we need to do what we kept on doing in 2025. Just be more consistent with it. I think everybody do. And I think what really needs to happen is a lot of people need to stop believing everything and then do their own cross-referencing. And it's going to be hard because a lot, it's going to be hard because a lot of people don't want to do it. I know there's more people who are in these Twitter spaces, X spaces, longer in those spaces than they are in doing their own due diligence and reading and researching. It takes a lot of time, man. Being a detective, that's hard work. And that's basically what we're doing is that we have to cross-reference everything. You literally have to go and cross-reference everything. And it takes time. It takes money. It takes patience. It takes energy, emotions. The first thing is you got to learn how to...
And then you got to journalize it after that. You do the detective work, but then are you going to be a journalist too? Because then you're doing twice the work.
Boots on ground. Are you going to go? I mean, you don't have to go to those places necessarily. I mean, you can go to historical places around the world and see different things. Building pyramids, they first had mounds before they started building pyramids. So look at the structures of how these mounds were built. Why did they choose these places? Did they have these places in here? And then, when technology got better, they decided to, heat up bricks and say, hey, well, we'll put up mud bricks, whatever that people want to call them. And then people say, hey, well, we can cut concrete now, or we can cut, cement or whatever. We can make cement and cut cement, or we can cut blocks or this, that, and the third. And as technology got better, the structures got better, but it all started off with mounds, literally. And I go visit a lot of mounds, and it's a pile of dirt, yes, but you can definitely, create entryways into these mounds, just like they did at Mogi Mounds.
Some LiDAR for 2026 for your mound expeditions, right?
Yeah, we need to see more aerial shots of these places. With drones too.
Real ones. Wait, I'm trying to put us up there.
With drones. We need not with all this. You know what I just read? All the DJI drones here in the United States, or they're going to stop selling them here. So you can no longer get one of those really good DJI. I think the government signed something to affect that the certain drones that come from foreign countries like China and stuff like that are no longer going to be sold in America.
That's wild.
You can still use drones. You just can't use certain types. I mean, you can still use those because you bought them, of course. But once they break and you need replacement parts and stuff like that, and they become scarce and stuff like that, you won't be able to get you won't get them anymore.
That's wild. And they're already programmed where it's like you can't even fly them in most national parks and most sites that we want to use them. It's like they're pre-programmed as no-fly zones. Like you can't even try to set one of those up and go over the Grand Canyon even. It's wild.
You can't?
No, it's pre-programmed now. It's crazy.
Oh, that's so fucking funny, bro. Because you know when I was really thinking about doing that to some of these places that I go to, like fuck, man, I could go about away from somewhere and fly it over. But if it stops it, or
right, you have to like hack the program and like GPS spoof it and be like, no, I'm not at this national park. I'm just to the north of this park. We're good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just saw a video on the drone getting shot out of the sky by the Border Patrol guy. And it looked, I don't even know if it was AI or not. You never know now. But it was like Border Patrol.
That's the other thing that sucks. All these AI videos, man. Everybody's doing these AI videos.
It's garbage. Like Instagram, TikTok, I'd say it's like 80%, at least 70% just fake AI stuff. And people are like, oh, look at this discovery. Oh, look at it. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, grandma is not cuddling with the grizzly bear. Sorry, grandma is not cuddling up with the mountain lion. And no, like 5 dudes are not like discovering aliens that are under like it's
well, think about the animal rescue videos where you have the animal trapped on a fence and they're biting and trying to get him off the fence, and then the animal brings and it used to be there was a collection of videos that were unrelated, but now it's AI. The animal will bring your video to the baby to your house with all his friends.
Right. Oh, it's like they saved the baby. That's so funny. They saved the baby wolf, or they saved the baby bear. Then they brought it home. Then they fed it. Then it ran off. Then it had babies. Then it brought it home. And then grandma's cuddle it. Right. It's just it's
they're feeding it.
Hey, that's so funny. So that's so funny. You was talking about coddling and all this stuff. Hey, bring this up, Stig. Bring this picture up, because this is an AI video. Look what fucking this shit had me rolling yesterday. I think it was when I first seen it. Now screenshot. Share my screen.
Okay, let me get rid of this. Let me stop presenting. I guess
this is something I just when we was talking about AI and how people are using AI to create content and shit like that. Man, this had me cracking up when I first seen it. So, do you see what this says? Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Do you see that shit?
Is that Billy Carson?
That's what Billy Carson said. He said a humpback whale gently wrapped its fins around a marine scientist and stayed with her for over 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Like
this is the shit that kills me.
Authenticity at its finest.
That's why I say I cannot believe why people take certain people serious. Like, I actually read this article and it's nothing like this. I think he actually typed this in a chat GPT, because a lot of the words in the format is usually how chat GPT does it for a lot of stuff. I don't know why. You can kind of look at it and tell in a way. But this is funny to me. Look at this shit, man. A humpback whale wrapping their fins around a fucking human. How big is this fucking human?
Right. I was just about to say, like, that's got to be a newborn humpback whale for one. Like, not even like a fetus humpback whale still in the womb to be that size to a human.
Like, this is what I say about using AI. It's a great fucking tool. I think it's an absolutely great tool. I think that using it helps cut down a lot of the bullshit that you do, especially if you're a one-man show like we are. Like, all three of us are. We don't have secretaries and hundreds and fifties of different people posting shit for us or doing it. We're doing it ourselves. So whatever we can kind of cut corners at to continue, staying up with our consistency, it works. But this shit, when I seen this shit yesterday, I was like, yo, and this dude is supposed to be the dude that sit here and knows what the fuck he's talking about. If you can manipulate easy and gullible people to believe shit like this, then what are you really doing? Like, can you tell me, like, this
tiger shark? Like, oh my god!
I was just like, man, what? I was like, oh my god! I was like, this. I said, this is what blows my mind. I said, it's a great tool, but you're taking a great tool and using fucking bogus representation of what's happening.
Ever since
brain rot.
My last video, I used AI I was speaking ancient Greek, and I used the HeyGen, and I don't even know if I still paying for that. I don't think so, but yeah, you got to check. This is generated, and I don't want to do that. I don't want YouTube to have another excuse for putting something up on my screen, which it does. It says this is AI generated content, and I don't want. And now Reddit, if you're in a group and it's AI generated, they take it down immediately. So, you know, I like to play with that stuff, but it's not you got to get rid of that AI off your channel, or you're
see, the problem is that too many people use it because they want to make quick content and they want to be famous, and that's why a lot of them say pretty much the same exact things over and over. It's just worded differently, and there's no real research in there. There's no real evidence. That's why when on my show, what I've learned from reading these books, I literally take the book I read. Like the next book I'm doing is on this book right here.
Sorry. Let me go back to you.
Yeah, I'm about to do my next book is on this one right here. What I've learned. So what all these tabs right here are tabs that I found interesting in the book. And all I'm going to do is just take the book, open it up, and read what the tabs say, and then go off the commentary of what I know from past information. And that's something that I think I add different than most people, because I'm not telling people what to believe. I'm not telling you what I think it is. I'm just telling you that when people say that they want to know about the Egyptian mythologies, you would have to pick up, which is this book, The Ancient Egyptian Pyramid Text. Now, this may be from James P. Allen, and there are different translations, but guess what? James P. Allen is a very respected person in this field, so I'm definitely going to make sure I read his books. I have other translations, and that's why I do every single book that I have, and that's why I know what the actual texts say from multiple scholars versus what somebody like, let's say like Billy Carson would say that the Egyptians said they said. He reads it and tells you what he interprets. I read exactly what it says and leave you for it to understand your interpretation. Now, if you want me to go, which I do most of the time, like if they talk about like vampires, when people talk about vampires, I'll be like, Sut was a vampire and Lilith was a vampire. How do I know that? Because Samuel Noah Kramer says that in one of his books. And then if you know anything about the Egyptian Sut, then you know that it's considered darkness. Darkness had to do with vampires. And I even explained it in simple terms. A vampire wasn't something that sucked your blood out of your skin to make turn you into a vampire. A vampire was something that took your energy. That's why you have energy vampires. That's why you look at them when they only come out night, because if they go in the sun, it takes their energy and kills them. They don't like sunlight. They don't want that. When they're in darkness, they're the ones that has that energy, the partying, the living, the having the fun, the nightlife type, the drugs, the alcohol, whatever the case may be. The night, what it does to people who are always in the sun, what happens when it gets dark? Well, they get tired. Well, we are different groups of people. We come from hunter-gatherers. Some of us had to stay up at night all night to protect the tribe and slept at night, and the other ones work during the daytime. That's why you have people who work better on night shift than rather on day shift, because it's easier for them. Their body's adapted. I don't sleep at night at all. I get most of my sleep anywhere between 8 in the morning to about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's it. Maybe 4 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. But I have a lot of energy at night, bro.
I was like, oh snap, Tyrone's exposing me as a vampire, but takes one to know one. So all right.
Yeah, because I feel like I have my energy at night. I'm wide awake at fucking night. Once about 8 o'clock in the morning hits, that's when I get sleepy. And then I'll take a nap for about 2 to 3 to 4 hours, and I'm back up in the afternoon. And it takes me a while to wake up and get to going. But once I get out, that's why one of the first things I do when I wake up is I immediately go outside within the first 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
I go outside.
Get that sun as soon as you're up, because it's like you got to get some of it and get charged. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's the only way I can get charged. That's the only way I can really get charged up during the days. I have to go outside real quick. I just go out there and I walk around real quick. But at night, man, I feel like, I have so much energy at night, a lot, and just knowing that vampires wasn't, when your blood drains out your body is because you get sleepy. You'll get sleepy and of course, they say you die, of course. But then, once you hit that nightlife as a vampire and you know how to sustain it, is dangerous for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I heard your door knock.
Something made a noise outside. I don't know if it was my place or not. Was that me?
Well, my place. Something. The vampire's knocking at Stig's door.
Yeah, you about to find out. Speaking of vampires, let's jump off subject. One of my favorite vampire movies is John Carpenter's Vampires. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
I'm checking. Hold on. I heard something. I'm worried it's my Starlink thing flying off the roof. If it's windy, that could be blowing down right now. I'm gonna go take a look real quick, see if it's moved. Because I have my new Starlink and I haven't.
It's fine. But if it's windy, it's probably just something like a tree or something swinging around.
I'm in the desert. Hold on. Let's go. I'm gonna go take a look. I'm gonna go take a look.
Yeah, he in the desert. Let me see. I got Yep, I still got Parkenstein's number. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit him up after I'm gonna hit him after January 1st. Send that stuff to me. So that way I can just tell him, hey, you need to sign up for this. I told him about it. He messaged me back and said he was interested, but I know that was like months ago, actually.
So, right, life just gets busy, and right, the holidays especially. Let's get to
because
glad to finally catch up. And
yeah,
I got
right.
to put you in contact with Terry Carter for Moonlight Gathering, so you can get in and do a presentation there because it's meant to be.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I have a slideshow on it about it. I actually I think my video either already came out on YouTube or not, but I did a whole presentation on it, and I'm constantly updating it because there's always new information. Like I was telling Stig, man, there's so many different translations out there that you don't really know who to go off of because you can't go off the translation. You have to go off the dates of that translation. Right, a lot of people will say, "Well, the Sumerians said this," and the Sumerians actually didn't say it. It was written in their cuneiform, writing system, but it came from the Babylonian time frame. So it was the Babylonians that said it, but they just used the Sumerian cuneiform, which it's kind of strange because the cuneiform has always evolved. I think I think they said that some of the cuneiform tablets date all the way to like 1 AD. So, what did it fall out?
No, the Starlink didn't move, but I saw what fell down. It was a board. I'm a hoarder of wood. I'm a wood hoarder, so sometimes I balance wood around, and I should have. I just let it go. I was listening to you though, and it is amazing all these different versions.
Stig chuck if a Stig chuck could chuck woods.
What?
Never
Repeat
mind.
that again and make it relevant for today's. What secrets does that reveal? That first of all, Stig don't. I've been eating crackers. I got some crackers, not wood. That's chucking, right?
I guess so. What is a woodchuck? Is that like a beaver? I don't even know, right? Like it's just like the saying when you're kids, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Or if a woodchuck could chuck wood, so a woodchuck doesn't even chuck wood? I don't know.
Apparently, that's what the implication is. If it could chuck means that it don't chuck. That's what I know.
Well, snap. Guess we got to investigate that in 2026. That's what's going to keep you up at night, Stig.
Well, we had a lot of people chatting us up while I was out there looking for the noise. I'm scanning it for important messages, but cuneiform, yeah, I can't believe that what you're saying about cuneiform and the fact that we didn't have anything but cuneiform. By the way, how old is Sumeria right now? What was the date? 5,000 BC or 5,000 years ago?
Well, they say it goes back to 3,200 BC, give or take. So whatever number you feel comfortable between, give or take.
5,000 years ago is what they say. Admin, you're a Ryobi guy like me. I had to just see what was going on because it is windy here in the desert, and I didn't put down the Starlink. I probably have to get the ladder out. The rain's dried. There's no rain out here. You were worried about floods.
Yeah, that I've been seeing that shit on the news.
Oh my gosh, LA's really getting it. It's in a, what is that? What kind of river is it?
Atmospheric river, right? Like this new terminology that they're like that came out in like the last 10, 15 years. And it's like I just seen like on like Live Science or physics.org, some supposed academic site, and they're like, oh, atmospheric rivers have shifted over the last 40 years. It's like, the heck you fuck you talking about? That shit ain't like didn't exist 40 years ago. Like, don't come at like it's propaganda. Shit's changing. The sun's changing. Everything's changing. We're in a new era. That's what I believe.
And it's all man's fault. I'm to blame because I'm flushing all that toilet paper down the toilet, and it's all my fault. I just keep blaming myself.
Man. It's cow farts, and you have to eat the bugs to avoid the cow farts, right?
The cockroach. If you don't eat and by the way, they eat bugs like cockroaches in Thailand. So you can go to Thailand and you can try bugs if you want.
Sure, they do it here in America too.
What?
They do it here in America too.
Well, yeah, but I've never seen in the marketplace like I have in Thailand. And by the way, they don't like you to take pictures of that. They're like, oh no. You're profiting off of my product without paying me. Who says this? A woodchuck is a groundhog. Now we know. Okay, there you go. What's totally real, Loretta? Wait, what happened? Buy a bidet. Look, admin. I don't know how that got clicked. I've been using a bidet I do not use toilet paper. I have it. And that's what happens. Thunderstorm asthma. Like the Torm, I had an asthma attack on my last live stream. So I'm keep trying to unclick the thing and a new one pops up right under it. So it comes up. Yeah, I've been using a bidet for a while. I have toilet paper, but I use a handheld too. I just installed a bidet. Are we talking about this? Like, this is serious. Oh, here's Anna. Hey, Anna, you finally showed up. And we've been doing this for 2 hours now. How we doing, guys? Are we talking about the secrets? Revealed secrets.
Anna showed up at Stig's shitty secrets of what wipes his ass, and what a way to go, eh?
I love bidets. I love them. What's this javelina? What's that saying? Javelina is a rodent, but looks like a pig. Okay.
I ain't never seen that. I gotta look that up.
Oh, you were here. Anna says she was here. Okay, so she was pre-bidet conversation.
What was that? The javelina? I'm gonna have to look that up. See what the hell that is.
Everybody, what? Oh, javelina? It's an animal which is a rodent but looks like a pig. I think they all look like pigs. I don't know how you get out of saying
America or Africa, the javelina. Maybe Asia. I don't know. That's crazy. I never heard of it.
Oh,
now this guy's correcting you, saying it's javelina. No, that's probably. And then, of course, everybody poops. Let's not forget that. All right. Oh, and then,
now it's so funny that we talking about pigs because in Islam, pigs are supposed to be the nastiest animal, right? Well, I've been all up and down Iraq and Afghanistan, and one thing that I know that Afghanis and Iraqis they eat chicken. Well, chickens eat other chickens. Chickens are just as dirty as pigs, also in some ways. True. So when people pick pigs over chickens, I'm just like, yo, do you even know what a chicken really is?
Right? Like, chickens are vicious. They'll eat anything. Like, they're disgusting little. Like, yeah, they're not even mammals. They're not even rodents. They're almost reptilian-ish.
Yeah, they're old dinosaurs. Dinosaurs turned into birds, right?
That's what they say.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Okay, so it's pronounced javelina because the J is a jota in Espanol. And so javelina is pronounced without the J. It's a have, H. And then Loretta has chickens. How many chickens do you have? What's this? Does hunt javelina taste like? Uh-oh. Oh, and pigs are, now we have pig comment. We got a lot of comments coming in. All right, pigs eat everything. And that's why I'm
yeah, we also share our DNA with bananas too. A lot of people don't know that either, but we share DNA with, we actually share DNA with everything on this planet, just some more than others.
right.
So it's very interesting because you got to think about that. How's our DNA bring us to the point where we're the only people inventing tools like technology to? Can you imagine a dog fucking sitting in a chair doing what we're doing right now? No, it's fucking humans. Like, how did this actually happen? Like, what spark gave us that opportunity to do that? You know what I mean? Like, we can literally do anything. They say we can go to space and we can go to the depths of the seas. The only thing we're missing now is fucking nothing else can actually do nothing like that. Like, you don't see none of that shit. I mean, you see some, and you know what's so funny is we're considered a great civilization, but they also consider ants the type of civilization also.
Let me just show you this.
That's
You were
right.
mentioning tools. Let me just grab this. I wish I could do it a different way. And we've got I'll just put it up there. Somebody sent me this, a banana hammer. So you're talking about tools and you're talking about bananas, and now we have a banana hammer, and guess how much that costs? That is $20 for one of those. And if you want the large one, I think the large one is, where's that large one at? I don't want to click it because this is a private conversation. I want to show something. I'll show you the large ones. The large ones
you don't want nothing in your toys coming up.
Yeah, well, this could be a toy. These are $150 if you get the large banana hammer. That's all I'm saying is bananas and hammers, and it's all coming together. It's all coming together. You share a DNA with tools and bananas. All right, is that the secrets? Is that what we're sharing? The secrets revealed for 2026?
That's what's going to terrify you in 2026. We are the banana hammer. We are one with the banana hammer, and you only cost $120 to be a banana hammer. And yes, that's it, right? No, that's not it at all. What's going to scare the heck out of everyone in 2026, I believe, or keep you up at night. That's what it was. What's going to keep us up at night? Well, me and Tyrone, we already stay up all night because we're night owls. But what's going to keep us up during the day is when we start seeing the return of the giants and the Anunnaki from below the ground in the oceans as they return. That's my prediction.
That's what I think so too. I think if anything is going to happen, it's going to come within our planet. See, I always believed in extraterrestrials. Okay, but why is it so hard to believe that we have those same type of gods and extraterrestrials here on planet Earth, and that the fight between what's going on is between the extraterrestrials outside of Earth's atmosphere and the extraterrestrials that's inside our Earth? There's obviously something that's important about each and every planet. So, I mean, in reality, I always think about this, like, there's a theory. Okay, so a lot of people talk about, Pleiades, the seven sisters, and the extraterrestrials that are white skinned, possibly white haired or brown or blonde hair, or sometimes blue eyes, right? That makes sense to me because from what I understand of skin color, people are brown skinned because they were closer to the equator and their genetics kept it that way. And then later on, when people moved away from the equator, skin color got lighter. That makes sense to me if we're going to consider extraterrestrials, white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, if you're going to go that route, right? But and that could be absolutely true. But
sorry to interrupt, but that would make sense too with the grays, right? Like the supposed gray aliens, right? Like if you're from outer space, like it's darker out there, you're further away, you'd need that lighter pigment. That would make a lot of sense.
That's what I'm saying. I can believe that, right? But then, so the gods that are probably here on Earth, there probably are different versions of gods on this Earth, because you have people who were close to the equator and people who weren't close to the equator. See, a lot of people. This is what strikes my curiosity, and I don't have a big enough. Well, you can look right here. So look. So you take. Let me see if I can move it. Oh shit, I got that. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so you can see the light. So Africa, they say that they said that people started around this area right here, right? If you go right across this way, that's the same line that these people are on, right? So it could have been a group of people that started right here. Then you go all the way across, it could have been a group of people that started right there. So there could be 3 locations that people actually started at, right? The only way to find out is using DNA and stuff like that, but that's hard still, right? Then they say some people started living in these areas right here. So you got we'll just say
to
right
add
here.
in, Tyrone, the same longitude over in Australia and genetically mapping, they say the Australians are actually older than the Africans now. Genetically.
Yeah, some people do say that. Yeah, they say, okay, so this is where the question comes in. First of all, what do we classify ourselves as? Homo sapiens. Well, they say the oldest Homo sapien bones that we found on planet Earth comes from this area right here, which is Morocco, Africa, right here to be exact, Morocco, Africa. And that goes back 300,000 years ago, right? That's where the oldest
the Atlas Mountains is the location of Atlantis. Let's not forget.
Exactly. Good. That's why I'm bringing it up. But then genetically, they say sometimes here, then sometimes they say in Australia. Now, these are different types of these Homo sapiens that's here in Morocco, Africa, were different than what they consider the ones from 200,000 years ago from Ethiopia and area, right? So, but this area right here, why couldn't there have been a different group of people that was formed everywhere? Because it was Pangea at one time. All the continents were together. We consider this planet is 5 billion over. Well, I'm not gonna say 5 billion. This planet, they give or take anywhere from 3 to 5 billion years old, right? They say that, right? Some people say 3 to 5 billion years old, give or take. We only going back 300,000 years ago for humans. There's no way. There is no freaking way. And the reason why we won't find bones and all this other stuff is because every place in the world that's near the coast of water is flooded. It's literally flooded. And there's civilizations found in all of these places everywhere.
Let me show that. Hold on. I'm going to show you here.
Matter of fact, Antarctica, if you want to argue, wasn't always an ice land or snowland. There's maps of it being, just a regular continent. And we know that the Earth's axis changed. We know that the Earth's rotation changed. We know all these things has some kind of different. The atmosphere changed, most importantly. I mean, you're showing it right here. All this stuff is flooded. So that doesn't mean that. How do we know that those civilizations or the Homo sapiens started there? Nobody really knows. We're just going off of fragments of bones, and people are saying, hey, well, this is a Homo sapien or this is that. Hell, we're considered today, in 2025, Homo sapiens sapiens. That's the extra sapiens says that we're intelligent people. Oh, we lost Bernie.
Where did he go? We just lost him?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
So,
well, he may have. I don't think I kicked him out. Let me remove this for a sec. No, I think. Oh, here he is. He's back. Hey, Bernie.
My phone overheated, but now I'm back with another phone.
I hate it when they say that.
So I was just about to say before it cut me off was that they've now
you were
found
good. Turn that thing. Rotate.
I did. It's not rotating. What the heck? Hold on. Oh, that's why. There we go. Work now? I think so.
Maybe.
Am I here? Am I there? That's the wrong one. Oh dear.
You're halfway there.
There we go. I'm back.
There you go.
Back.
Perfect.
All right. So apparently they found some new human bones or human ancestor bones of like 1.3 million or 3.1 million years or something. But not just that, though. A bigger part is the Neanderthals, right? That's like, oh, there was also the Neanderthals. But then you look at the Neanderthal skulls and the DNA, and it just so happens to be the same DNA skulls that they give to the elongated skull folk of like the Nazca Peru mummies and the rest of them. And it's like, oh, was that the Nephilim in between? And then there's the Devonians or whatever that are even older, and they're even bigger, and their tooth jaw sizes are like 3 times the size of Homo erectus / Homo sapien, which it's like, were those the actual Anunnaki and the real giants and the before peoples, whatever it was? But that they're kind of covering it up, and that they claim that it's like, oh, it was just hunter-gatherers, oh, it was just this or that. But no, it goes back way further than 150,000 years, like they try to claim.
And not even talking about stuff that's old. That's old, right? 50,000. Look at the elongated skulls that we have in our 1,000 years old. Who were those people? And I brought that up earlier because
I think they died out about 1,500 years ago. Was the last ones that they found anywhere in Europe, and then they found the
Peru.
Yeah, Peru, I guess Peru's the youngest ones, right? And then it's like, then you bring up the conquistadors and the Jesuit orders, that it's like, oh, they chased them out of the Mediterranean. That was the last time they found them, like a couple thousand years ago there. And then they fled to the Andes. And then all of a sudden you had the Spanish go in, and the French and the English in North America, and take out the rest. And that's even in the Pacific Northwest of Canada and the US, some of the indigenous tribes had elongated skulls that they were still binding themselves. They were doing the skull binding, but it's like they were imitating it up until the point where the Jesuits came and genocided their cultures. So were they hunted by Rome, potentially?
Yeah,
I'm just looking at Hugh Newman, Giants of Stonehenge. I just got this in Scottsdale, and it's got so many pictures, and for each part of England, like Sussex and there's all Worcestershire and Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, and all the shires. And then I saw Sussex.
I wonder if he read Godfrey Higgins' books, Celtic Druids, because that's where you get the bread and butter at about Stonehenge. Like Godfrey Higgins, man, I'm telling you, when he wrote his book, man, Celtic Druids, there's a lot of information in there. A lot of information. I think a lot of people should read that. The problem is just that, the hardest thing is people don't have time to read. Most people, they're either working a 9 to 5, and then they're trying to find something entertaining, like watching podcasters and stuff like that, or
how do you not have time to read when you're listening to Joe Rogan for a 3-hour podcast?
You wasted your 3 free hours listening to Joe Rogan on a podcast, and your brain is rotted, so you can't comprehend anything else, is my guess. I don't know.
But see, that's part of how misinformation gets passed, though, is because people skip the reading part and go straight to Joe Rogan or any of these other podcasters. That's why I always tell people, don't believe what I say. Get this book right here and challenge me. I'm literally doing it live right now. If you got this book, tell me I'm wrong.
I love it. Rebirth of the word. It's so true. And that's real science. That's real archaeology. That's real history, right? It's like, we aren't no freaking echo chambers. We aren't no cults. It's always do your own research. Don't take our word for it. See what we're showing, what we're presenting, and then go do your own investigations and research into it. And that I say the exact same stuff with my alchemy discoveries, with my electrolysis, my electrochemistry, right? Real science. It has to pass scrutiny. Don't take my word for it. Reproduce it yourself. You don't believe it's possible, or you do, whatever way, test it. Build it yourself. Yeah. Read it yourself.
Or at least check it yourself rather than just take it and then spit it out. People give it to you in one side and you just spit it out. And you don't check it first. and they're perpetuating these lies or these untruths or rumors, and I see it every day. It's happening with Atlantis. It's happening with what you were talking about in Anunnaki, and Tesla too. You know, Tesla gets misquoted all the time, and people are giving him.
See, a lot of people forget that Tesla died broke and alone.
Well, and
he didn't have a bunch of followers. He had a lot of people who ridiculed him.
Bernie, what do you think? Did Tesla inherit all his knowledge, or did he come up with it on his own?
Okay, so that's a very good one. Tesla actually accredits finding electricity in the Bible, encoded in the Bible, but he invented the AC, alternating current, and that we're taught that it was like, oh, AC was the good, and that Edison with the direct current, that was bad, that was evil. But I've been doing my own research. It turns out direct current is more of the free energy. It's static energy. It's cold electricity. It is millions of times more.
Let me break this down for you right now. What I know, I want to ask what's his name? Paddington. I want to ask him about this. You say Stein, but that's not what it says. It says Parkinson. So I thought maybe
Edmund Parkinson's his actual name. Dr. Parkenstein is his TikTok and his alias.
All right. Okay, well, listen, if I could ask him a question, I would say, look, and here's what I believe I know. I've been doing the electricity in this house, and I do, obviously, it's alternating current. It has a ground wire that goes back into the earth. Direct current is what is in your car. You can't have a ground wire. So direct current is in your car.
Your car is AC. It's just two-phase. It's alternating current still in the alternator. That's why it's alternator. It's alternating back and forth. Direct current. So your ground wire is the DC, Stig. The ground is your direct line back into grounding. That's actually a DC charge. It's the static charge.
You're gonna get me more confused. I mean, I know that. And then why is the hot wire in AC in my house white, and then that makes black, and that means that the white wire is neutral, and then there's a copper wire which is sometimes green, but in the DC the black is ground or negative. I just don't in the car, and now you're telling me that that's alternative also in the car, but it doesn't have a ground. So what's the difference there? It grounds to the chassis, but the chassis doesn't. Okay, there's somebody commenting. It grounds to the chassis, but it doesn't contact.
That's what your tires come into play.
Your tires aren't allowing. You've got insulation. Okay, this is Robert. Okay, Robert Seffer blocked me, so I can watch his videos, but
that's hilarious to bring him up. I actually unfollowed him today. I was like, I can't handle this BS no more.
That dude's racist, man.
As fuck. He racist as fuck, straight up.
Well, Angel Song says we need more of him. So
no, I was wrong. My bad. You were right. Cars are DC. My bad on that.
What?
My bad. I was wrong. Cars are direct current. Well, the batteries.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's right. It is direct. Well,
the alternator replaces the generator, which charges your battery.
Well, the battery is DC, but is there a converter between the alternator and the battery?
I don't know why they stopped calling it. They used to be called a generator, and VWs had a generator, and then they replaced them with alternators. And if the alternator is bad because
the generator would have been what the heck were they called?
If you disconnect the negative off your battery while it's running and it dies, you're running off the battery. The alternator is bad. That I grew up knowing that. I've changed a lot. Cars are so we saw that. But my bottom line is that cars don't touch the ground. The tire is an insulator. So if you get hit by a bolt of lightning, well, I'd like to see that. Circuit ground. Okay, so now we're getting into it. So Burgermeister Gang says it's called circuit ground, not earth ground. Okay. But there's no third wire. There's only two, negative and positive, in DC. While you have your hot, and then you have your neutral, and then you have your ground.
So it's an inverter that converts DC to AC, and then it's a rectifier that converts AC to DC. And yeah, so it's the DC from your battery to your starter, but I do believe that it is a rectifier from your alternator that then charges your battery. So I believe the alternator is AC, if I'm not mistaken. But
well, I think that your house has AC, and the whole thing about it has to ground. That's the question. Why does it have to ground? Is it a scam?
It doesn't have to ground. The ground is extra DC that is a direct charge going, and it's taking all the static flux between, otherwise it will build up and zap. So the ground is your DC connecting to ground wire. It's the direct current, and then you don't actually need it. It's because of the flow of the high AC between the two that in the homes of the grid that creates the buildup. That's why they do have the DC ground to get rid of that extra charge.
Well, I have to be honest. I just replaced my battery. $200, $179 for a 3-year battery. I used to go to Walmart and get the cheapest one for $100, but it doesn't make sense if you're gonna have the car for 3 more years. So I just replaced it with a 3-year. See Robert Bosch. Who's Robert Bosch?
Robert Bosch. I heard of that name. I can't remember that. Let me see. I gotta
All right, Astrolab. Now you got to tell us who that is. Hey, Russ McClay. Thank you for joining. He's in Taiwan.
Is that like Bosch systems, like Bosch?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Maybe. And by the way, Russ, man, this guy knew a lot of people.
Yeah, he's the founder of Bosch. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and yes, the alternator AC, it is alternating back and forth 100%. So you do have to have the rectifier to then in between your alternator and your battery in the car that then recharges it. And it's a dynamo. So the dynamo is the old generator. So a dynamo is a DC generator, and then the alternator is the AC. So they used to just have dynamos running everything, and that was direct current, and that's cold plasma, cold electricity, and static charge. And when you get into the etymology of it, why is it that when you're taking a DC current and you're turning it into AC current, which is hot electricity, more inefficient, and you get the resistance and you get the heat loss, it's called an inverter. It's inversion of it. And then why is it when you have AC current and you're turning it back into DC, you have what is called a rectifier. You're rectifying it back into the natural flow of direct cold current. And that's where the grid system, the electrical system, is a giant scam, because you get this exponential heat loss of resistance of heat when you're using AC lines as opposed to DC. A DC cold current, that's how you can use LEDs with pretty much no loss whatsoever, compared to your incandescent light bulbs that use magnitudes more of electricity and energy because of the heat loss from the resistance.
Right.
I will be inviting a master electrician to come over and look at my work, because I'll tell you what, I've been doing stuff that may or may not. I'm telling you, I've got my sub panel right here, and I got like on one 15 amp circuit, I've got everything on this computer right now, which is like how many receptacles? Like literally more than half the house is this one 15 amp. So I'm riding on the edge. I'm on the edge. I sometimes do my circuit breaker breaks off, like when I heat water or something. But that's the other one.
I would not recommend wiring more to that breaker, Mr. Stig. Very, very sketchy there, but good on you.
Well, I watched a lot of DIY YouTube videos, okay? Let me just be honest. First of all, I've been doing basic wiring my whole life, but wiring receptacles in a house is always a challenge. And now, because it's alternate current. See, you can't do direct current like I'm doing this alternate current in this house here. You go straight to an appliance, and come back. This, it's in all one big ring. It's a big ring. I do sometimes wonder, am I going to wake up in a fire? I think that the best thing to do is to get that master
It
electrician.
sounds like it. I'm not trying to jinx you, but you want more than one circuit to one breaker, and that's why it's getting hot and overheating.
No. What I actually don't want to update this, so I'm balancing things out. Used to be I'd have an air conditioner on the same one as the microwave, and yeah, boom, it's over. There's no fires. I just popped the circuit breaker. But I'm just saying that I want it to be let's not get into my personal life. We got a lot more chats coming in. What's this? Old school brushless motors were the big thing. Old school. Somebody's talking about the telephone lines. Brushless motors. Oh my gosh, the chats are just going so fast. I can't even keep up with them. Your wires are getting hot. I've had wires burn up in my car. And yeah, I probably put in.
Take no more wiring and look at Adman's most recent comment there. And that's all you need to know. And sorry, Ginamax79, we did get a little bit off topic. We were talking Anunnaki, now we're going into different types of electrical.
We're talking about what's coming in 2026, why we won't sleep tonight.
All right, I gave mine. Anunnaki, you're coming back. Tyrone, I think, has said agrees. What do you think, Stiggs?
Told you we know where Atlantis was. Let's move on.
All right, let's see. Let's move on. Let's see. So let me ask you about this. So this is one of the biggest issues that I've been hearing about lately, is the fact that about the Egyptians and how they moved these tons of rocks and stuff like that. A lot of people would say, how did these Egyptians do it? And my question is, why do they think the Egyptians did it in the first place? If they were such a rich country and rich group of individuals, why didn't they source out other individuals from different places to bring those stones to Egypt in the first place? You know what I mean?
Who says they didn't, though? They say, oh, they were slaves, but were they not?
Regardless, it's more the technology, because we would struggle at moving that sort of weight today. And my answer to that is that most of it was most likely a geopolymer, where it's like it was ground down at the site of the quarry, and then it was moved as bags of dust, and then it's an electrochemical reaction where they re-solidified it as a geopolymer and poured it. But that's my own theory. I think it's the easiest solution, but who knows? Could be wrong.
Yeah, but see, my thing is that people. The question is, Jimmy Corsetti asks this a lot. He always says, how did they move these 80-ton stones? How did they move these 100-ton stones? And I'm just like, okay, maybe the Egyptians didn't do it. Maybe it was a different group of individuals. Obviously, we talked about the Masons in general earlier. Why couldn't it have been a group of individuals like that? I mean,
sorry, just to interject, like, for the final point of my point is, like, say our society collapses, there's a complete reset, and then some of these concrete buildings or skyscrapers are still found standing of just the concrete by the next civilization, and they're like, how the heck did people move this concrete from the limestone mountain quarries? And it's like, well, we didn't move it as a giant slab building from the mountain. We moved it in bags of ground up dust and then repoured it and built it out of the dust, sort of thing, is where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah, some people actually say that they were casting stones when they were building the pyramids. I've read a lot of books on brick masonry and all kinds of stuff, like stones, geology, and all kinds of stuff. And all of those stones, or some of the stones, you really can't. Concrete in general, you can tell that it comes from natural substances on Earth, and different concrete has different levels. I mean, yeah, we can test it now differently today, but
right. So, here's the thing: today's concrete, it's a sedimentary process, right? It just solidifies. Where we can't even replicate Roman concrete from 2,000 years ago, and Roman concrete still lasts, and that's because it was a type of geopolymer. Geopolymer being, it was a chemical reaction, so it's a chemical bond, so it's recrystallizing, thus looking like the full crystallized rock. And it's that our concrete isn't even even matching up. We don't have that technology, or we're not using it today. And it's that geopolymer of the past. It's not sedimentary, it's an actual chemical process. So it's more of a metamorphic style of process, or just electrochemical.
I think that the Roman so-called, we can't copy what the Romans did. That I think it's because the Romans didn't do it. It's a little older than the Romans.
Either way, it's the type. It's a chemical process, not a sedimentary process.
Damn, the comments are just flying in. I'm gonna have to stop sharing every single one. So far, so good though, and a lot of people are keeping up on it. Thank you all for being here tonight.
They definitely say that that the Roman concrete is the best. Like this stuff, they say this is like far technology that we can't replicate today. So does that mean that the Roman Empire got information from extraterrestrials or aliens how to do that? Come on, I mean, seriously. I mean, we have to think of the level of knowledge that we have among ourselves. I bet you today, our concrete that we use today is way cheaper than what any fucking concrete they use around the world, man. Like there's just no way. Like they always back then, money wasn't a thing for them like that to build stuff. You know, it was always who had the most extravagant. Money wasn't a question, and the extravagant items and artifacts and stuff that they wanted. That's why they had no problem building these pyramids and stuff like that. They really wanted to be like, hey, we could do this. Now everything has some type of red tape. You know what I mean? So
some type of
even trying to dig up the evidence of the buried pyramids has red tape all over, yet alone trying to reproduce it, right?
Yeah. But see, a lot of people say we can't build the pyramids today. I guarantee you, with enough money, enough motivation, we can build those pyramids today exactly the same. It takes money to do it, first of all. Okay. And right now, the only person that could do that right now, or people that could do that, are billionaires. If they came together and said, hey, we put $1 billion in to build those pyramids, that
if
covers
Elon
the insurance.
wanted a pyramid, we'd have a motherfucking new pyramid, right?
Elon Musk would build one if he wanted one. I think we have to know a few things more about the pyramid, because honestly, I've heard some stonemasons say, oh, it's just the outer edge, the rest is filled in with mud. And then we have this void, so maybe they're right. The middle of the pyramid, if it's filled in with mud, then you can, and I know the center is the king's chamber, the queen's chamber is not mud. That's solid granite. And that had to be put in there. And then you've got the pyramid around it all. And if there's mud in there, then easy peasy, right?
Yeah, but see, this is the thing is that, you know, it's what, if we wanted to right now, if we say Elon Musk, if he says, hey, build me a pyramid, how much would it cost? And they say, hey, it will cost $5 billion. Well, that's nothing to him, right? He can easily say, okay, that I could cover that. I can cover that and get in other investors to do it. I guarantee you they would do it. And not for nothing, a lot of people don't realize that. And I want to have the opportunity to go to Egypt, to go to that museum that they just opened up over there. They have all the tools that they use there. The problem is that it's not in the form of what we see as today. See, a lot of people don't understand, when you going out building something and you have a tool that's remarkable and that's not like any other, you don't want to lose it. So you're always going to have accountability of it. It's almost like you're going to have insurance on it type thing. You know, if somebody found a certain tool that you needed to help build the pyramids, then if it got lost somehow, somebody would offer, you know, whatever the money that to get it back. I mean, information talks, man. I mean, communication talks to a lot of people on an aspect of, hey, if you give me some type of money for this, I will give you this back. You know what I mean? And this is what a lot of people don't realize, is that I don't think the Egyptians are the ones who actually built the pyramids. I think there was a group whole bunch of people who built the pyramids, and I just think the Egyptians were the ones who funded it.
Why don't you call them the survivors of Atlantis or the survivors of the cataclysm?
I don't call them that either, because of the simple fact that I won't say survivors of Atlantis or anything like that, because I don't have enough information to go off to be able to say that those.
Well, I do, because Plato said that Egypt was under the sway of Atlantis. So when they were finally freed, that didn't make the Atlanteans just disappear. They were still there when the cataclysm happened.
But see, the thing is we don't find any pyramids from Atlantis. As a matter of fact, Egypt is not even the oldest pyramids on the planet. Some people consider the ones in China, Bosnia, and even Peru
that's
the oldest ones.
officially, though, right? So it's like there's other datings that date the Egypt, like the main Giza pyramids, to the same age as the Bosnian and the Chinese, to like 30,000, 40,000 years, and that they could be pre-cataclysm. They're just trying to culturally expropriate. So I'm messing that one up. The pyramids to the wrong culture, right? They're trying to make it like they were human when maybe they were Nephilim or Anunnaki built. Could be. I don't know. Just a theory. Who knows, right?
I gotta show Angel Song. Angel Song is.
But the mud brick ones. The mud brick ones, I agree. Those are recent.
Anytime I see a mud brick, I think it's it's recent. I'm just going to show something to Angel Song, because she was just chatting me up with this whole thing about maybe I need to meet Trevor Grossi. Well, hey, I was with Tyrone. Tyrone, you met him, right? Trevor Grossi. They were with the Italian scientists. Hold on, let me share my thing here, and I'm going to find it, because she was saying, oh, he did a live stream earlier this evening. This is my Twitter, and I have a picture of us together. At least me and Trevor. I don't have one with the three of us. There's me and Praveen. This is Cosmic Summit, and here's no, sorry, that's the wrong one. Trevor is in one of these. Hold on. There he is, right there. That's Trevor. So there's me, there's Trevor, and yeah, the two Italian scientists, they weren't hanging out. This is after dark. You were around the corner. Where were you? You were outside, weren't you, Tyrone?
Yeah, I was outside.
I'm gonna take this down. I got a million comments coming in. I'm having a problem. And there's Hugh Newman, and he's the guy that wrote these books that I was just showing about the giants. And that's J.J. Ainsworth and Pillars of the Past. I mean, he's finding the elongated skulls. There's Dandy Dunker. He just took a look at my electricity. He told me I needed to change my panel. He's an electrician. Let me get out of here. I'm going back to this. And I'm gonna go and get rid of it. Listen, look at all these comments coming through. We've been doing this for about 3 hours, guys. But with
I would
these
listen
comments,
to Debunking Dan. So, Tyrone, can we agree that Stiggs's resolution should be hire electrician and don't put any more on that same breaker circuit, because we like Stiggs being alive and not waking up.
Now look, I got it balanced between
up
two, not just one. And I got my look, guys. I got it all tested out. So
until it short circuits and your ass is laying on the ground.
I actually turn off the board sometimes before I go to sleep, so everything's off. Sometimes, not all the time.
If I was you, I would too. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good idea. That's how he sleeps at night. That's right. If he leaves it on, it keeps him up all night.
How can I listen to my Art Bell if I turn off my computer? Remember when you used to go to sleep to that guy? Anybody?
Oh yeah, that was like junior high and high school, man. Listening in coast to coast, Midnight Express.
I don't know what that means. No stick on a stick. No, I'm not pushing in no sticks. All right, so we got more. You won't sleep tonight without turning off all your circuit breakers news for 2026. Oh, let me make sure that's not showing anymore. Okay, Trevor Grossi. Yeah, Trevor's a good guy. I like Trevor. What is going on here? Am I missing chats? Somebody said, Bernie, I think you need to trade those Fed glasses for blue blockers. What do you think? Did I already show that? Only AM, FM radio on one
Yeah,
clock.
your glasses.
Oh, there you go. I used to actually have glasses that are similar to that to try to make my vision better. I used to go through all those things. No sleep till what? 26. What does that even mean?
That means you have to party for 3 days straight until New Year's, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so here's my new thing. I am doing the Starlink, and my goal is, because I don't want to stay on the unlimited for 160 a month. I want to get back over to the 50 gigabytes a month. But that means that I'm going to have to get my phone to do all my TV watching. And I need to learn how to screencast my phone onto my big screen. That's my next step. Somebody asked if my computer, they said, Angel Song. I know that, I'm just going to say this. Are you Diddy? Is Angel Song also Diddy? I remember Angel Song was somebody else, but I can't remember who that somebody else was. Cool, Burn. Love the glasses.
No Didion. And yeah, I was wearing the Fed glasses because I was a little chapped up earlier. I found out a good friend of mine passed away. Rest in peace, Ryan, my rye guy, my fractal dactyl. We love them. That's why I was wearing these. But I love you guys. I love Stigs. I love Rebirth of the Word. Tyrone, David, I look forward to meeting up with both of you in California at some point in 2026. Bless you both. Thank you for getting my mind off of what was upsetting.
Thank you, Angel. I remember.
It's been a great one, and we got to do this more often, and we will. And we're going to be doing it in person. We're going to do some boots on the ground, and I look forward to it.
Yep.
Look, if we can hook up in California over here, you were so close when you came down to running around in Utah, were you? You were there, and I'm down for another trip like that. What's
Utah
the next
and New Mexico? Oh, we are, Stigs. Don't worry. I'm heading to California. I'm going to be there for 2 months at least. So whether you have to take a trip to Spain for a little bit when I first land, or if you're there, either way, I will still be around, and hopefully I'm able to stay all the way until Tyrone gets there, and we can do a road trip all the way to Mexico City together.
Yeah,
well, you know what? I have taken a bus all the way down to not Tapachula. I took a bus from Tijuana all the way down to not Mexico City. No, I forgot the city's name in Spanish. It's on the tip of my tongue. And then I was going all the way to Guatemala, and I got tired of the bus. So we got off that bus, and in the city of where's that world map at? Anyways, I couldn't do it, man. And so when you say get down to Mexico City, you're talking about flying, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. But we'll take a road trip to like the cheapest airport, and we'll take a road trip around Nevada or New Mexico or Utah, or California, whatever we need to do. But we're gonna
got down to Guadalajara. I got to Guadalajara, and Mexico City would have been another maybe 600 kilometers, but I wasn't headed for that. I was headed for Guatemala, so we got on the plane and went straight to Guatemala, and that was and I've done it twice actually. I went to Mazatlan by bus before, and that was a long ass drive, and it's harsh, man. That was back in like 86, 87.
Yeah, we definitely flying. We definitely not driving through Mexico these days. I hear it wouldn't be the safest. We like being alive, so we'll try to fly, but we'll do a road trip somewhere around the West Coast or the west side of America in the Badlands, wherever Tyrone knows where the mounds are to go. That's where we go.
Oh man,
that's everything east of the Rocky Mountains. You don't have a lot of mounds on the west side of the Rocky Mountains. It's like all around Mississippi and yeah, let's do that trip. It might take some time driving across country. I want to get a teardrop trailer. My goal is to finish this place and rent it out and then get on the road and keep some of my stuff here. But now you're worried about fires burning people up. I'm going to update everything. So don't worry about all that. We'll be good. I got a fire extinguisher right by the bed too. So if I don't wake up burning, I can wake up and put it out. What is this? Lots of comments, all sorts of comments. We're gonna scan these comments one more time. What's the next grift? The next grift is going back to the Richat for me. Clownifornia, how dare you? What's that? David Cooper, thank you. California is about to have a massive earthquake. Bernard.
Well,
and what about Taiwan? Just had a giant earthquake.
God, I have my faith in God and divine purpose, and California needs me there so the earthquake doesn't happen, because it won't happen while I'm there. And if it does, well, we'll be on the other side of the mountains. We'll be fine because we'll be on a road trip either way, right?
California has earthquakes every day, and I've been in a couple big ones. And Taiwan just had an earthquake yesterday, 7.7. It's number 7. And there no buildings fell down. We're all gonna get hit by an earthquake out here. The comments are coming so fast. Astrolab, you type so quick. You're gonna hook up in Peeps and where? DF? What's DF?
I don't even know.
Yeah, we want to go to DF. I don't know where it is, but if we're talking with Peeps with food and sleeping arrangements. And what are we watching on TV? I just binge watched Pluribus. Have you seen that show?
Pluribus? Nah, I think I heard about it.
It's been on my mind. Like, it's definitely occupying my mind right now.
Mexico City, yeah.
What about Mexico City? Talking about Zocalo comment?
District Federal, DF, Mexico City,
aka
Teotihuacan.
I did not know that. But I can hablar español muy bien. No es un problema grande para mí. Tijuana. Oh, Loretta used to go to TJ. I was a teen then, back when it was less scary. I think it hasn't changed. Fire, yes. Madman.
I don't know about hopefully, right? We have our faith in God and that the cartel will not kidnap us.
Okay, so DL is
man, don't put that shit on us.
I'm telling you, man. DF, District Federal. You're reading the chats before I am. All I'm saying is that I went down to Mexico to get my teeth worked on. So I was down there recently, but that's a little different neighborhood. And yeah, they don't want nobody's coming in messing with them dentists. You want to make a movie? Call it, what's it called? That whole area, Algondones is the place you go by Yuma. You go in and get your teeth done. We'll call it a incident in Algondones. Stig was getting his implant and getting his final cap done when all hell broke loose.
You know, I always say the pyramids in Mexico are always aesthetically more pleasing than any of the other pyramids around the world, to me at least. I always felt that.
For sure. Oh, and
right?
no, and don't even talk about Mexico City. The Mexican, okay, so they had the audacity. Sorry, I want to hear what you said, Bernie. They had the audacity to replace the Giza pyramid with the modern wonders of the world in the Mexican pyramid. Well, you just saw the pictures released again of how the Mexican pyramid was just a mound, but then they built what you see nowadays. That was made recently. That's a modern day. You don't put it on the wonders of the world over Giza. That ain't
what,
Giza.
The ones in pyramid? What you talking about? The ones in Mexico?
The Mexico ones, the ones that I visited when I was 2.
Yeah.
And that pyramid, which is, the snake is going down on the right day and all that. That's just that's modern day stuff. That
was a modern day rebuild, allegedly. You
have a photo of it before they did it. You have the picture of it.
Well, that's interesting. Then it's like,
hold on, I'll get that for you right now. Let me get that ready. I know,
because Wandering Wolf, Michael Collins covers it in depth, right? So I want to have a conversation with him about it.
Pyramids before and after.
Teotihuacan in Mexico City, right? That one was covered with schist. No, what's the material? The insulator or dielectric rock, the crystal or whatever, and that they removed it. but yeah, they had a bunch of mercury inside of it, and it was covered in that shining crystal dielectric.
So this is 1900 and this is 2022. And I've been there before. I was very, very young, like under 5 years old. But I do remember climbing those stairs. And I didn't realize those stairs didn't exist in 1900. I don't know if I can enlarge this. Can I get in there? Let me try this. There we go. So basically, even though that mound is definitely an ancient thing, you've got questions about when that mound was. I mean, they're just like the ones in China in that regard, right? Okay, we're losing. Wait a minute. Are you talking right now? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Whose mic's off?
Good.
Bernie's mic's off. That's okay though. Let's go through the comments. Chicken pizza. What are we talking about? Actually, I am skipping. I haven't seen any of these comments.
You know, like I said, man, I just feel like, you know, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of history out there, and no one has the right answer. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle of what they think they know. And it's not until people sit down and have discussions, whether you like somebody or not, if you truly want the facts, if you truly want to have, you know, want to know the truth. You know, what's so crazy is that a lot of these people will sit back and argue, go back and forth with each other on arguing, typing it out, being keyboard warriors, saying, you don't know what you're talking about, do this, down, blah, blah. But you can't get on stream and have a conversation. Like to me, that boggles my mind. Literally, it boggles my mind. If somebody challenged me, I'm gonna say, let's get on StreamYard, let's get on podcast, and let's have a conversation. Okay. For one, that should keep two things in check. One, that should keep our egos and our attitudes in check, because we don't want to make people that believe what we believe or believe what we believe see that we're having a bad crash out, that we don't know how to have a civil conversation. It's okay to argue. It's okay to call people stupid. It's okay to call people dumbasses. I mean, it's okay. Is it right? No, but it's okay. It's okay. Get past that. Somebody calls me a dumbass and says, well, the Anunnaki came from planet Nibra. I'm going to be like, okay, dumbass, well, show me what text says it then. You call me a dumbass for saying that it doesn't. Show me the text that says it does. You know, and if you show me the text that says that, you say, yo, look, man, this is where it says it. This is the cuneiform tablet identifier. You can go read it. You can go to the British Museum and see it for yourself. You can take it to ChatGPT and tell it to translate it. It's going to tell you. I do all of that stuff, and I still say that they came from the depths of the sea. Then I'm an idiot for believing that. I'm an idiot for believing that. Because just because my piece of information might say that, what did my piece of information, how did that piece of information get me to that conclusion? And then they say, because a misunderstanding from this text right here, which is much older than what you know of. And I'd be like, okay, fine, cool, that's it. I'm not going to make any money from being right in the first place. And you're not going to make no money from being right in the first place either, because guess what? Somebody has probably said that shit before already. But nobody on this planet can give you a cuneiform tablet identifier that said the Mesopotamians said that the Anunnaki came from planet Nibiru. You would not find something like that. All you would get is depictions of constellations or planets or stars or comets or, you know, asteroids or whatever the case may be. You're going to see this. A lot of people don't even realize this. There's this book that's called Almagest from Ptolemy. And man, this is one of the hardest books I've ever read, because it's all about looking at the constellations, the sun, the moon, the stars, the 5 planets with the naked eye, and mathematically recording that daily for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Not for 1 year, not for 5 years, not for 25 years, but for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Multiple people had to mathematically put that information together to get it more as precise as possible. Yes, the information could have been off a little bit, because just like calculators, you can put a mathematical equation in 2 different calculators, or you could use the same brand if you want to, and you would get two different calculations from that equation. It's been proven. This is no different than when you, as somebody who uses a tape measure, you know just as well as I know that you can grab two different tape measures and they're not going to be exactly the same. The length will not be the same. That's why when they tell people to build houses, they have to use the same exact equipment from the same exact company. They can't mix companies. You can't mix DeWalt with Milwaukee. You can't do that. You have to use the same. And what I mean by that is that you have to use the same fucking tape measure, because it's going to be off. If you use two different tape measures on a house, your fucking house is going to fall apart. And that's just facts.
And believe it or not, a house is built to have a differences in a 1/16 of an inch. You can be a 1/16 of an inch off, and the house will still get built. But you know,
like it's been
won't stand as long, especially in Canada's cold, as it shrinks and then expands and contracts. And
what about the Peruvian rocks? They didn't measure those at all. They just put them up.
No, they measured them.
Well, I'm thinking
they
about,
measured them.
and by the way, I wanted to say this earlier. Those H blocks, apparently, those are geopolymer.
You know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
You talking about Pumo Puco?
I'm not sure about that. The one with the H blocks.
I think it's not. That's where the H blocks are. Yeah.
Pumo Puco?
So it's funny you say
not
that.
In Peru. Those are over in Bolivia, right?
Both. It's right on the border. It's right now. It's on Titicaca. There. It's throughout. The whole site is Pumapuku.
Okay.
It's so funny you say that, because you know Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, Pumapuku is the only place on planet Earth that was built by aliens. He literally says that. He
and I think they were
that.
ancient miners.
But see, this is the thing. That Ancient Alien show is so full of shit to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
they based on Sitchin.
No, it's not that they base off it. No, it's not that they base it on Sitchin. They don't know what the hell they're talking about when they describe an extraterrestrial and an alien. And I just went over that. So an extraterrestrial is anything outside of Earth's atmosphere. Anything outside of Earth's atmosphere, which can also be alien, because the definition in etymology word of alien literally means foreign. Mean foreign to us. So an extraterrestrial is foreign to us. So yes, an extraterrestrial can be an alien, and an alien can be an extraterrestrial. Okay. Now, when we look at, it saying Inky coming from the depths of the seas and the Anunnaki coming from the depths of the seas. Well, guess what? It's foreign. It's foreign to us for these individuals that come from the depths of the sea. So guess what? They're aliens, but they're not extraterrestrials because they're from Earth. They're from the depths of the sea. See, the deciding factor is when Giorgio Tsoukalos says, did aliens do it? Well, if they're foreign to us, yes, they're aliens. I don't give a damn what the hell the Nazca mummies and all those skeletons and mummies and elongated skulls and stuff like that. That's foreign to us. So they're alien, but they're here on planet Earth. So they're not extraterrestrial, right? And what really irritates me about the whole skeletons and all those, those Nazca mummies and all that other stuff, is that they say they have DNA analysis of it. Okay, if that's true, where the hell is it at? Why do you only have a peer review article from your university? If you really want to prove something, give Harvard, give MIT, give Bar-Ilan University, give all these different places a sample of the DNA and let them do their test. And then all you guys combine your notes and say, hey, what did we come up with? It's not a scientific study when you're harboring and not trying to communicate with the next person. I always say trust but verify. Stick, you was in the military just like I was. One of the biggest sayings in the military is trust but verify. Yeah, you trust yourself that you cleared your weapon when you came on base, but guess what? You still got to take that rifle and that pistol and put it in the clearing barrel and make sure that you fucking pull the charging handle back and make sure that there's no rounds in there. Right? That clearing barrel is your verifying. Yeah, I trusted myself that I cleared my weapon. I didn't load my weapon. I just put the magazine in, but you still have to go through the steps of clearing. And that's the verifying part. People forget the verifying part. They trust everything everybody says and say, fuck it, I'm not going to verify it for myself. I believe what that person's saying. Just like when it comes to Jesus
today's world, verification it's as simple as I saw it on Instagram and it was AI made and it must be true, right? Like it's
ask Alec Baldwin about that.
Yeah, but that's a great example. He trusted that the armory did their job right, but he didn't verify. You know what I'm saying? He didn't verify that. You see what I'm saying? He didn't verify for himself. He trusted the armory, but he didn't verify. And that's where trust but verify comes in. It's okay. You know, it's okay to I trust myself to do the right thing all the time. Hell, did I lock my truck door? I know I clicked the button, but you know what I do every fucking night at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm not sleeping? I walk my ass outside and pull on the fucking door handle. Even though I can hear the chirping on my sound on my truck when I'm locking the door. Yes, that's how it's just in me. I have to go check it. Hell, when I leave my house, I have cameras in front of my house, you know, just like anybody in America nowadays have, right? When I lock my door, I tell in my ring cam or my camera, hey, I locked my door. What do I do when I'm 5 minutes out from the house? Did I lock my fucking door? I know I did. I checked it like 4 or 5 times. I know I did. You know what I go do to verify? I get on the app on my phone and look at it and say, oh, check I said I'd like. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to verify. And that's what a great detective does when they're a historian trying to figure out the truth in the first place. You know, one of the scariest
this thing
things
lies. This thing will lie to you.
Exactly.
This thing lies. And so even if I push the button, that doesn't mean it's locked.
Exactly.
You need to turn on your mic. You're talking. Turn on your mic.
That's why it's called double checking something, right? Because you just double check it, and that's why, like, you know, if you're playing a video game, or in reality, if someone's trying to kill you, it's called the double tap. You make sure they're down and out. You go bam, bam, right? You want to make sure you double tap, you double check it, you verify, right?
You know that. Somebody said that's called OCD, and you know I've never been diagnosed with OCD, but I really do check stuff like that. Like it's a habit of mine. It's almost like, okay, I know I brought my debit card with me. I know it's in my wallet. I know for a fact it's in there because I don't ever take it out unless I'm ordering something online, and I don't even have to really do that sometimes. But what I do when I'm driving, reach in my fucking back pocket while I'm driving because it's irking my nerves. And I gotta when I get to the stop sign or a fucking light, what do? I flip it open to see if I got my debit card. It's a way for me to say, okay, I verified, re-verified, and double checked my own work. If I missed something, that's fine. It's even like when we was talking about books earlier, editing your own book. Yeah, you can go and read your own book over and over and over again, and you're going to find mistakes, and somebody reads it and they'll find mistakes. It's always going to be a mistake somewhere. You just have to verify things to keep those minimum mistakes to a minimum. You don't want to have a whole bunch of mistakes. You want to have as many, because if you don't have mistakes, then you're not fucking human. I don't care what anybody say. You know what I mean?
Well said, Tyrone. Well said. It's part of being human and learning from them.
Yeah, if you don't think that you've made a mistake, if you don't think that your information might be wrong, because I still don't understand how the Anunnaki came from the depths of the seas. Like my best guess would be the representation of a mermaid, but how do I verify that? I ain't got the money to go in the oceans and see that. You know what I'm saying? But what I can do is go off what the text and what the depictions say at the bare minimum. And that's what I try to do, is go off of what the bare minimum tells me. You know, if you tell me that something comes from outside Earth's atmosphere, then I'm going to say, give me your best argument for that. Don't say that you're going to compile a whole bunch of arguments to make one argument. No, give me your best argument that says this, right? Because when it comes to evidence, if I want to find a criminal that broke into my house, my best argument for them breaking into my house would be either a fucking fingerprint or a camera. Them being on camera. That's my best argument. I don't have to say, well, they told me they was going to rob me. I don't have to sit there and say, well, I seen them with my own eyes. That's not the best argument. The best argument is having them on fucking video in your house stealing your shit. That's all the argument that you need, right? You can say a fingerprint, but somebody can say, well, you invited me in your house. So that's not even the best argument. It's what you can see at that moment that proves it, right? You can say whatever they want to say, and sometimes that will work for evidence and stuff, and that is considered evidence, but that's not your best argument.
Right, but some is circumstantial evidence versus like critical evidence.
Exactly. A lot of people don't understand it. That's why I say all you have to do as a person is if I'm wrong about something, just show me where I'm wrong at. That's it. I don't care about being right. Matter of fact, you know what? I like to be wrong. And the reason why I like to be wrong is because I remember shit when I'm wrong. And the reason why is because when I'm wrong and I see that I'm wrong and I found out that I'm wrong and I have information and evidence and facts that I'm wrong and I said something, I don't want to say that same stupid shit that I said before to sound stupid. I don't want to look like an idiot twice. You know what I mean? You already
exactly right. It's like I like being corrected when I'm wrong. I like figuring out where my mistakes are. I always ask.
I was wrong. Yeah. I like it. I won't do it in court, but I would look. If you don't learn from your own mistakes,
hey, what are you doing in court, man? What are you talking about? I ain't see nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on here.
Then I'll plead the fifth in court. I'll plead the fifth. But the fact is that I've had to confront some people in my life, and when they heard the information that they were wrong, they just flat out denied it. And it turned into me losing respect. What's this? Mr. Mission Control says good night, huh? Check your work. Yeah. And by the way, that electricity, I did check my work, and I did find one receptacle where the ground wire was touching the hot wire. I hadn't turned it on yet.
That's where your house burns down.
And that's how your house burns down. I did not turn on the electricity. I checked it because I double checked. That was the word of the day, right? Double check stuff. And by the way, it's not just double, it's multiple times. And
you know what's that saying? What's that saying? I'd rather measure 10 times and cut once than cut 10 times.
I measure once and cut 10 exactly. Yeah. Work harder, not harder.
Right? Twice, but yeah. And yes, that's right. I live by that philosophy in my house. And I do carpentry, I do plumbing. So doing the electricity was stressful for me, and I am kind of worried about stuff. So yeah, you always want to deny everything. They got plugs, bro, that you can plug into the socket and shit and see if you wired it correctly. I have that. I got that. I use that.
Don't worry, Tyrone. I'm going over to his place soon enough in the new year, so I'll triple check.
Oh my God, everything's perfect. There's no problems here. No, I just basically took all the wire. I replaced it. You're not gonna believe it. I'll go get my little plug that plugs in. I've got that all.
Next time.
Oh, here's the big question. I've been using lever nuts instead of wire nuts.
There you go.
I've been using lever nuts.
One right here. I got one right here.
I got that. Okay, so what's that black button do? Tell me.
Well, that usually turns it on.
No,
this one actually it just tells me if what the light lights up, so it'll be open. Yeah, it's push to check up. Oh, it says push to check GFCI.
Right. So you push that, and what it's supposed to do when it's plugged in, it's supposed to trip your GFCI receptacle.
Let's see if it'll clear up.
Mine doesn't have that button on it. I'll go get it. It's right in the other room.
Let's see if it
clears I'm gonna go get it because you challenged me. Hold on. Let me get it.
Stig has old equipment.
Hold on. I'm trying to get it to clear up so that way. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Hold up. Come on, catch me, baby.
I don't have old equipment. I have cheap equipment. And I've been wiring, and I have that right here. It doesn't have the button on it. Yeah, I don't have the button.
Yeah.
Stig, just one piece of advice, my brother.
You don't need that button.
Is electrical equipment.
If you've got a GFCI and you're going to trip it, that button, you don't need that. It's right there on the receptacle. Okay, number 2, when I'm dealing with hot wires, you got to make sure you have one of these. You got this?
Of course.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yours is Klein too. Yeah, yours is Klein too. Yeah, mine is Klein too.
I got that one. And this is my new stripper. This is the one I use.
Oh, snap. Stig's got a stripper. Oh, you got a pole and a stripper?
I have one that's older than you, okay?
Oh, he's got an old stripper. Oh no,
No,
he's
this
got
is
an
a new
old
one.
stripper.
I've got an old one that I'm going to throw in the garbage or sell for $1.
Oh, you're just gonna throw that old stripper out, man? That's harsh, dude.
This is the new one. This is the new one.
Old
The
strippers have
old
uses
one,
too.
yeah, they do. And the problem is keeping. How many hammers do you need in your toolbox? You know,
Shit, man, I got about
you
10,
got
15 different fucking hammers of different
Right?
types too.
Exactly. Hammer time.
Stock.
Tim have too many hammers.
If you ain't got about five of everything of every tool that you have, then
I have more than 5 for
Well,
some
you ain't a
things.
handyman, that's for sure.
yeah, you ain't no fucking handyman, Joe.
You're just a poser if you
You know,
got
man,
one of those things.
I gotta
You
have
know-
to share my. And by the way, I mainly try to do carpentry. I love wood. Don't ask me.
Stig loves wood and old strippers. Wood and old strippers. All right.
That's right. I like showing old strippers the wood. Okay, we're gonna move off that topic. Just seeing lots of chats. Lots of chats. Still, I can't even keep up with the chats. Tap, double tap, measure twice, cut once. Where's the double tap? The double tap is when you the coup d'etat, right? Coup d'etat is the double tap.
Double tap is defending oneself from zombies. Just from zombies, right?
Hey, so Anna speaks
what was that movie
Russian.
called?
Anna, why do you speak Russian? Tell us more about your Russian
Because
capabilities.
Anna is a Russian name, I would guess.
I knew an Anya who was definitely Russian. But yeah.
No,
geez.
Bernie is definitely half Russian too.
Who?
Well,
I
I
got
don't know.
I got some Russians who want to go back to the Eye of Africa. You ready?
Yeah, you've been
Yes,
talking about that for a while.
I haven't. Well, I tried to go April 1st, and now we're almost there again. I got to get back there and see that one thing, and then I think I'm kind of done going there. And yeah, maybe this month. Who knows? Use a wire cutter as stripper all in one if you are careful. What? Yeah, I hear you, but you don't want to score it or you're going to start a fire. Don't score it. Don't twist it. See, a lot of people, what they do is they put it on the wire and they cut it and then they turn it. That's creating a score that could cause a fire in the future. So that's why I'm kind of worried about wireless. Say again?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm all over it, man.
I don't ever twist mine. I mean, mine is I pick whatever
you cut it, and
however
then
thick it is, and just pull it off. Yeah,
you cut.
I used to do old school though, man. Old school used to be you used to take a razor, bro, and do it yourself, and then pull that shit. Man, I don't know how many times I've done that shit.
I used to use a pair of pliers. The middle part. Yeah, the little plier. Man, oh my god, man. I was doing that for speakers. I was doing that for the speakers.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Or ground wire for your
lighting.
vehicle. I did mine when I put a system in my truck, because I have a system in my truck. I did that with my truck. You know, with the battery cable and the battery wire and the ground wire.
Angel, you say don't skip your question. I've been going through them without reading them. What question was it? Angel Song, what was your question? Maybe I'll go through here. Is that the question? I would love you to discuss Sabrina Wallace. I didn't see the question. Write the question again, Angel. And how are we? Yeah, did we reach 2026 yet? I thought we were going to do this until my birthday's coming soon, and then the new year. So,
all right. Well, happy early birthday, and
because I won't tell you when it is, so it's a top secret. It's probably like tomorrow or something. Who
tomorrow,
knows?
Yeah. So the 29th or the 30th, depending on what time we end.
I have other friends, depending on what time we end. And the other thing is, I have a friend whose birthday's today. He's in Spain right now. I'm going to go back and see him hopefully this month, right? All right. What's the question, Angel Song? You said don't skip my question. I don't think I hit it real fast because I got hundreds and hundreds of chats. I mean, come on, man. This is awesome. More chats than I've ever had before in a live stream, in my opinion. So, yeah, better double check that. And we better start wrapping this up pretty soon, I think.
Yeah,
and
we can wrap it up now. We wrap it. We
Agreed,
went
yeah.
3 hours.
Let's give the audience a
3 hours,
chance.
3 minutes,
We got Happy New Year's. We got Happy New Year's, everyone, by this crypto guy. Discuss Sabrina. Do you think she has valid points? Who is Sabrina? Guys, do you know who she's talking about? She put it up here, and I just looked at Sabrina who. I don't know who Sabrina is. Sabrina Wallace.
I don't know who that is.
What does Sabrina Wallace say?
That's all three of us. I guess that's our homework for the next episode, looking into who Sabrina Wallace is.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, we got more chats. Happy 30th birthday, Stig. Thank you. I like that. Bernie, you look like Corey Partyman with those yellow louvers. You already gave those up, though. Don't put it back on. We're good. By the way, I remember buying those for your vision. It would help your vision. Oh, no. I used to have the glasses with the holes in it. And you had a bunch of holes.
Oh, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's what
Oh. Who? No. I don't think that's who she's talking about. Sabrina, she said the last name. LOL, Bernie. Okay, so
Sabrina Wallace. Yeah, okay, I see who she's talking about. I see.
What about her? Why is she relevant? What's going on with Sabrina Wallace? I'm looking it up right now.
So, yeah, they got a YouTube channel.
Sabrina Wallace.
Wireless body area network and human biofield, global brain connectomes, nanotechnology.
She's a former network operations tech who seemed to have some kind of breakdown / drug incident. It says that's a Reddit. Does anybody know who Sabrina Wallace is?
No, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Reddit means allegedly and probably not true. She probably had just a grand awakening while high on methamphetamine. Just kidding. I don't know. I've never seen her. She's probably great. And it's interesting topics.
She's warning people. Oh, wait, I just navigated away. How do I go back? Let me go back. She's warning people. Warns about people lying about their jobs in telemedicine and healthcare. She has this other video, misinformation proliferation on social media. Yeah, that's definitely happening, right? Like, for example,
is it the ASM 8920 version? Because that's what I'm thinking. Like American Sovereignty Media, I guess that's what it is. I don't know. That's the only Sabrina Wallace that I see. But this is a group of individuals.
I hear that Sabrina Wallace can climb walls very fast. She's a wall ace.
All right, now you're making me yawn, bro, with that kind of humor. Oh my God! See, that's the problem I have. I used to want to be the jester, but what was that? Who had that meme? Was that you that said, "Be a jester"? I want to be a jester, but I also have to be a jouster. Fighting for it. Okay, we got chats, we got everything. We're gonna wind up all the chat sharing. I'm gonna look for the relevant ones. All in one. GFCI is evolved. Okay. And yeah, and here's a trick. If your GFCI goes out in your whole house, everything will go out in the whole circuit, that is. Did I skip something? I build guitars. I know you. I like to paint guitars. In a previous life, I had a guitar that I painted and I played all the time. Unfortunately,
hey, so let me ask y'all: do you know who Herman Lewis is?
That's all old. Herman Lewis rings a bell.
Wasn't he allegedly? Didn't he? Is that what's his name? Like the actor guy or no?
No, Herman Lewis was a. Go on.
I'm thinking someone else. My bad.
Yeah, he talks a lot about Göbekli Tepe, and he considers it like how it's maps and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Stig?
He's a Twitter guy. I think I got caught up in one of his little shows, and I couldn't handle it. I got out of there because I was in the middle of talking. I got interrupted. I'm not sure if it was him. And yeah, I kind of I don't know who I'm following anymore on Twitter.
No, he has some good information. I brought him up because he was messaging me. I just seen it. And if you check out his page, he does have some great information. I'll post here. I'll give you the link.
Share your screen?
No, I'm gonna send. Well, I can do that too, but I was just going to send you his thing so you can bring it up on.
Oh, go ahead. Share your screen real quick, and you control that.
Yeah, this is. Hold on. There we go. Should be up now.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So, you know what I'm talking about?
I recognize that, dude. That looks like. See, here's the problem. I don't know who I'm like seeing stuff from anymore, and the last Natufian, he follows you. Does he follow? I'm looking at you. Let me just look him up and see if I'm still following him. Because I did a little purge. I don't know if he was in it or not. He doesn't look like the guy that was in it. We'll see here.
Nah, he has a lot of great. He's in California too, from what I understand.
Yeah, I'm following him. He's not the guy that triggered me. What about him?
No, he just talks a lot about Göbekli Tepe. I know Jimmy Corsetti talks a lot about it, and they do comment to each other every now and then.
All right, I'm gonna have to follow Herman then. That looks like some good stuff. I love Göbekli Tepe. And go.
Yeah, that's all he posts all day. That's all he posts all day.
Göbekli Karen, you say? By the way, Hugh Newman and J.J. Ainsworth, they were there at both shows, Cosmic Summit and in Arizona, and those guys are the Göbekli Tepe masters, in my opinion. They were back there for the solstice at the Karahan Tepe because of the face that gets hit by the solstice, and I guess they wanted to make sure that was a thing. And I asked him about the stars that I showed earlier, and not a lot of even though there's a scorpion and there's what looks like the Sigma or Cygnus, the constellation that is the vulture on the Vulture Rock. And I don't know, they don't have a lot of credence with the whole astrology thing. A little bit, but not like it was sending a message about some cataclysm. I'd like to know more about that. That's for sure. Every time Jimmy Corsetti, what? Oh, okay. That's you. I was like, who's Matthew LaCroix? I just watched his video. He was talking about Göbekli Tepe, right? He was going over it very slowly, and it was, a lot of this stuff I've seen already, so I get burned out really fast. Swug a bottle of iced tea. By the way, somebody was asking about bourbon. There's no bourbon in the house. Oh, wait a minute. I just remember I got some bourbon. I hid it from myself.
Happy birthday, Stig.
Well, I would have to wait until probably 24 hours from now, and that's after the. We're gonna close this down, right? I'm not gonna go get the bourbon now, am I?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and close it down then.
We're closing it down, and then I'm gonna go drink bourbon by myself that I just remembered I had. Yeah, I love it when you remember the good old days when you ran out of weed and then you found where you hid some. Oh, more comments. Desert Drifter, yeah, he passed away. We gave him his moment. Yes, the internet is scrubbed. Yes. Okay, we're out of here, guys. Let's make our closing comments. And I do have a video I'm going to test for the first time. Let's see what the Starlink speed test is for me now that it's almost midnight. Whoops, sorry. Where is the speed test? Speed test. You guys ever watch Speed Racer?
Yeah, when I was little.
Okay, it's all the way up now. It's all the way up to download is 73, and then the upload is the one I care about. He passed up. What? What are you saying there, Loretta? Matthew has basically passed up Göbekli Tepe and gone to other places. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm passing up those places to look at what's in the United States right now, not just the mountains. Yeah, but you got to see what I found in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, I love the Rockies.
Bernie knows all about it. Yeah.
We're going to be doing a bunch of explorations. That's what we're doing in 2026. Exploring the California Rockies, right?
Can't sleep. I can't believe I got bourbon.
We're gonna meet up. March it is. I'm gonna fly out.
And if you can make it here,
March Madness.
I'll tell you what. If you guys can make it here,
March Madness is us in California in 2026.
You guys can sleep in my place, no problem.
Hey, do y'all got hotels over there?
What are you talking about? I'm gonna have a room for you. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying.
I'll pitch on the second bed in the hotel. Just kidding. I'll take both. Either or.
Man, I'll tell you what, we can be pitching tents in my place, but if it's March,
Okay,
it's
I'm
gonna be nice.
definitely pitching a on the hotel with Tyrone. Ain't no pitching, no tents in Stig's room.
We're not going to pitch no tents in my room. I sleep alone, man. When I'm sleeping, nobody can access my body. There's no access to my body when I'm asleep. That's for sure. Don't burn what down? Don't. Let me see if you see Bigfoot. Who? See, the chats are still coming in so fast. I got 123 views. It says I don't know where they're coming from. Let's see what
all our channels combined. We all streaming right now.
I got on the X. I got 41 people saw it, and I think it should say who's watching. Oh, 33 views from X. Yeah, you guys are really bringing me out of my hole here. What's this? The drug sucks balls. What kind of drug? What kind of drug are we talking about?
Say what?
I don't know. I think it's in reference to my weed statement. And that drug is burning me out. That's for sure. Sabe, Loretta with Sabe, you just keep going. We're out of here. All
right, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ending the
Much
stream.
love. It was a pleasure. Rebirth the Word, Tyrone, Stig, David Stig Hansen, myself, Bernie, and it's been a pleasure. Happy New Year to all of you.
What's your site? Who should Rebirth? Your rebirthoftheword.com, right?
Yep.
And what about your YouTube? Rebirth of the Word?
Nah, Rebirth of the WO1. No. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my Twitter. Rebirth of the Word 7099.
Okay.
on YouTube.
And Bernie, what's yours?
Nice. I'm just YouTube at Crypto Alchemist 369, and my backup channel is just at Burneye, BURNEYE, because I'm Bernie, the one and only, coming to California, and that's what I'm doing in 2026, and meeting up with these lovely fine gentlemen, and we doing some real research on the ground, investigations.
I'm just doing youtube.com/@Stig. I do have a Twitter, Stigemup, STIGEMUP. All right, guys. Somebody has buckets of prime smoke. We just got to get an address out of them. All right, good night, guys. We out of here.
Right.
I guess there's going to be an exit video. We'll see, but I'm going to keep the chat going. You guys have a good night.
Happy New Year. Happy birthday.
Happy New Year.
All right. Good night. See ya.